Boom! The void exploded, blood-colored petals fluttered, and Long Chen's figure gradually emerged in the blood-colored divine light. However, the original altar had disappeared, and the dark spider had been devoured. The blood souls of the strong men who had once offered sacrifices here had been devoured by Gigi, and their bodies had been digested by the black soil and became the nutrients of the chaotic space. At this time, the chaotic space also began to undergo strange changes. The kind of changes was hard to explain. Long Chen only felt that its power was slowly awakening. As for when it would completely awaken, no one knew. Chen Qianding returned to Long Chen's sea of consciousness to rest. It had just swallowed the origin of the great Tao, and many of its natal runes were being activated. Because it had been dormant for too long, after these runes were activated, it needed to adapt to them again. Now that there was the Dragon Bone Evil Moon, it naturally didn't need it to protect Long Chen. Although Long Chen did not directly upgrade this time, Chen Qianding was awakened, and Dragon Bone Evil Moon became unprecedentedly powerful, condensing a brand new Starry Sky battlesuit. Long Chen's harvest this time was huge. 3 months have passed in a flash. I have wasted too much time. I don't know what kind of changes have taken place on the battlefield of the Heaven Realm. Are you all right, brothers? Condensing the Starry Sky battlesuit, Long Chen had no concept of time. It has been 3 months since he separated from Nian. In the past 3 months, there must have been earth-shaking changes on the battlefield. I just don't know if anyone has taken that final step. Long Chen put his hands together, and the Emperor Flame appeared around him. Long Chen began to perceive with the Emperor Flame. This was also the suggestion of Chen Qianding. The Starry Sky battlesuit was too strong and Long Chen could not control it at all. The best way now is to condense the Emperor Flame and open the 7th gate as soon as possible, or even the 8th gate. As long as the 8th gate is opened, the Starry Sky battlesuit can be added. At present, the best way to improve the strength of the physical body is to condense the Emperor Flame. This is Long Chen's top priority at present. Hum. More than 200 Emperor Flames flickered around Long Chen. Long Chen perceived with his heart to capture the call of fate. According to Chen Qianding, the moment Long Chen crushed the Emperor's crown, the luck of the Dragon Clan began to reshuffle, but the fate of the Dragon Clan had already begun to tilt towards him. Suddenly Long Chen opened his eyes, and starlight appeared under his feet. He disappeared on the spot, and when he appeared again, he was already tens of thousands of miles away, flashing continuously, and his speed was extremely fast. This was the first time Long Chen used the nebula step to travel. His speed was faster than Qianping's wings, and his movements were smoother and more flexible. Boom, boom, boom. There was a roar in front. The sound of dragon roars was loud, and the dragon's might was shocking. It was a group of Dragon Clan strongmen fighting fiercely. The blue dragon shadow covered the sky, and a full 900 Emperor Flames burned. The dragon's might that destroyed the world made the whole world tremble. However, the blue dragon traveled to the sky and tore through the void, but it could not break through the shackles of a transparent divine furnace. Above the 9 heavens, a black divine furnace was suspended, and rays of divine light shot out from it, sealing the sky and locking the earth, trapping this world firmly. Under the divine light, a group of dragon warriors were trapped inside. Outside the barrier, tens of thousands of warriors formed seals with their hands, and the black dragon shadows behind them were stirring, controlling the divine furnace. Master Qingyi, don't worry about us. Just break through by yourself and help Master Mengyao. She is the hope of our dragon clan. Please let us die with dignity. Inside the barrier, a dragon warrior with more than 800 imperial flames condensed around his body was covered in blood and roared loudly. The blue dragon above the heavens was the magical power of Qingyi, the peerless genius of the Tianlong Luo realm. She was frantically fighting against the divine furnace and fighting all the enemies outside with her own strength. Want to escape? Dream on. If you didn't have the Azure Dragon Ball, the divine weapon of the Emperor, you would have been refined by the dark heaven furnace long ago. Even if you have the Azure Dragon Ball, what's the use? You can't fully control it, and there are so many of us controlling the Dark Heaven Furnace we can wear you out. Outside the barrier, a man with a gloomy face also had 900 imperial flames all over his body. He formed seals with his hands and used all his strength to activate the divine furnace, sneering at the same time. Chingy's heart was sinking. She suddenly took a deep breath, formed seals with her hands, and the azure dragon above the 9 heavens was full of green light. Its mouth opened wide and a huge dragon ball shot out. Go all out! The man with a gloomy face tensed up instantly and shouted loudly, with the imperial flames all over his body burning rapidly. After receiving his order, the other strong men also gritted their teeth and exerted the power of the imperial flames to the extreme. Boom! The azure dragon ball hit the barrier hard, and a shocking explosion broke out. The divine furnace shook for a while, and the barrier was shaking wildly, but it did not break. At that moment, Chingy's face turned pale. Even with her full-strength attack, she couldn't fight against the divine furnace. If this continued, she would be exhausted to death here, not to mention supporting Master Mengyao. She couldn't help but said angrily, "Fools of the Nether Dragon Clan, you are also a member of the 9 Heavens world, but you actually helped the evil Dragon Clan from outside the domain to deal with us. If we die, you Nether Dragon Clan will not have a good end." It turned out that the group of Dragon Clan strongmen who trapped them were none other than the Nether Dragon Clan. Although they were traitors of the Dragon Clan, they still belonged to the 9 Heavens world. Ha ha ha, you don't have to worry about this. After we eliminate you mainstream dragons, our Nether Dragon Clan will unify the Dragon Clan and become the king and emperor in the future. The leader of the Nether Dragon Clan laughed. He was indeed a little nervous before, fearing that he could not trap Chingy and let her run away, but now he is relieved. Not only will Chingy be trapped to death, but her King Longzhu will also have to be left behind. It is also a powerful divine emperor magic weapon, and its grade is even higher than the Nether Heaven Furnace. It was just that Chingy had just obtained it and had no time to nourish it, let alone know how to control it, so she couldn't compete with everyone else. You're dreaming! Chingy was furious. Dream on, you bunch of arrogant, self-righteous idiots. Do you know how much luck our Nether Dragon Clan has got? Do you know how many peerless geniuses we have? Do you know how many strong people like me have condensed 900 imperial flames? You don't know anything. You only know to immerse yourself in the glory of the past, but don't know that your era has long passed. The leader of the Nether Dragon Clan smiled sinisterly and continued. Originally, your Dragon Clan could indeed continue to be glorious, because the curse of the Chaos Dragon Emperor on our Nether Dragon Clan has made it impossible for us to turn over. But that idiot Longchun crushed the Emperor's crown. Our Nether Dragon Clan has received a huge amount of luck, and even the heavens are taking care of us. This also indicates that a new Imperial Clan of the Dragon Clan is about to be born, and that is our Nether Dragon Clan. Shut up, you idiot! You are not qualified to evaluate Lord Longchun. Seeing that man humiliating Longchun, Chingy was instantly furious. Longchun, you are just an idiot, an idiot, an idiot. What? Are you going to bite me? The strong man of the Nether Dragon Clan saw Chingy's anger, and he became more and more excited, constantly provoking her. Is the Nether Dragon Clan very strong now? At this moment, a voice next to the leader of the Nether Dragon Clan asked. Of course. The leader of the Nether Dragon Clan hadn't finished speaking when his face changed drastically, because at this time a man in a black robe stood beside him with his hands behind his back. Lord Longchun. Longchun appeared silently beside the leader of the Nether Dragon Clan. Qing-Yi and the others could not help but scream in joy. No one expected that Longchun would appear at this critical moment. The appearance of Longchun immediately ignited endless hope for them. In their hearts, Longchun was a godlike existence. Don't be afraid. I'm here to save you. Longchun looked at Qing-Yi and the others, smiled slightly, and greeted them. Death. At the moment when Longchun greeted Qing-Yi, the strong man with 900 imperial flames suddenly handed over the control of the Nether Heaven Furnace to others, punched out, and 900 imperial flames entangled and hit Long Chen's chest fiercely. Bang! With a loud bang, the punch hit Long Chen's chest. The two were too close, and Long Chen seemed unable to avoid this punch. Qing Yi and the others were shocked. The full force of the 900 imperial flames, this punch, Long Chen had no defense. Wouldn't he be blown up by a punch? However, after the punch, there was a sound of bones breaking with a crack. Long Chen did not move, but the leader of the Nether Dragon clan was so painful that his face was deformed, and he stepped back several steps. Just now, in front of Long Chen, a red light flickered slightly, and petals condensed to form a shield to block the punch. After the punch, the shield disappeared instantly, came quickly and went even faster. No one, including Qingyi and the leader of the Nether Dragon clan, saw the appearance of the shield. In the eyes of others, the punch hit Long Chen hard, but Long Chen seemed to feel nothing. At that moment, the whole audience was shocked. What kind of flesh, without any protection magic, could block the full force of a strong man with 900 imperial flames? How is it? Is it fast enough? At this time, the proud voice of Longu Sheiyue came. Long Chen couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Sheiyue was right. As soon as he thought about it, Sheiyue's power arrived instantly, faster than Long Chen's movements. At the beginning, although Long Chen could also control the power of the evil moon with his spiritual power, the evil moon at that time was not so powerful. Now it is stronger, running faster and more smoothly. I don't believe it. The strong man of the Nether Dragon clan roared, and suddenly his figure flashed, and he rushed to Long Chen in an instant. When he just came to Long Chen, his figure disappeared in an instant. When he appeared again, a punch had already hit Long Chen's back fiercely. This was actually a fake move, and the speed was so fast that it was impossible to react. Bang! Long Chen was hit in the back, with a loud bang, a sound of bone cracking, and a groan of pain. The strong man of the Nether Dragon clan retreated several steps, and his wrist, which had just been repaired, was broken again. Long Chen slowly turned his head and looked at the man, with a strange face. Is this the strong man with 900 imperial flames you mentioned? What kind of peerless genius is this? At that moment, even Qingyi and others who were trapped in the barrier were stunned. Lord Long Chen was so powerful. At that moment, they were full of admiration and awe for Long Chen. A man who could refuse the emperor's crown and disdain to borrow the power of the dragon clan to fulfill his own proud man. Even if he could not condense the emperor's flame, he could still make the whole world look up to him. Damn it! This is an illusion. All of this is an illusion. The leader of the Nether Dragon clan roared. The emperor's flames were burning wildly around him, and his whole face was hideous. Suddenly, a black spear appeared in his hand. The emperor's flames flowed and injected into the spear. A fierce breath instantly burst out and penetrated the void, going straight to Long Chen's heart. With a boom sound, the spear hit Long Chen's heart. However, this time, Qingyi finally saw the fleeting red light, but did not see the appearance of the shield clearly. The leader of the Nether Dragon clan, however, was in a frenzy and did not notice this detail. He only felt his arm shaking wildly, and the whole arm lost consciousness, and there was a heat flow on his palm. His tiger's mouth was cracked, and blood kept flowing, infecting the spear. Ka-ka! And this imperial-level spear actually began to make a ka-ka sound, and fine cracks quickly covered the spear body. Voila! The spear shattered, and the fragments scattered all over the ground. The leader of the Nether Dragon clan fell into a daze. He looked at Long Chen as if he was looking at a monster. There were also countless strong men of the Nether Dragon clan who fell into a daze. They had never seen such a terrifying scene. Buzz! Suddenly, the divine light trembled above the heavens, and Qingyi screamed, "Master Long Chen, be careful, he is going to use rumble." The nether heaven furnace that originally trapped Qingyi and others suddenly released their restraints, carrying the supreme divine power, and smashed down fiercely at Long Chen. Die! The leader of the Nether Dragon clan had a fierce look in his eyes. He gave up Qingyi and attacked Long Chen instead. Everything happened too quickly and too suddenly, which shows that this person is a decisive person with a very fast reaction. With a loud bang, Long Chen was hit by the divine furnace, and a huge pit collapsed on the ground. Then endless divine light flowed, sealing the sky and locking the earth. Ha ha ha! Long Chen, you idiot! You are too confident. This time you enter the dark heaven furnace. You will never escape in this life. Ha ha ha! The leader of the Dark Dragon clan laughed wildly, with a kind of arrogance of turning defeat into victory. Qingyi was shocked. Long Chen was trapped. She wanted to launch the Azure Dragon Ball to attack the divine furnace, but she was afraid that the guy would transfer his power into it, and then Long Chen would be the one to bear the attack. However, just when Qingyi was anxious, a lazy voice came from the dark heaven furnace. You want to trap Master Long San with just such a broken furnace? You young people are really daring to dream. Open! Suddenly Long Chen shouted softly. Swish! The blood-colored divine light crossed the sky, and the evil divine light drew a circle in the void, forming a blood-colored full moon. The blood-colored full moon split the entire divine furnace in two. The divine furnace slowly separated, like a gourd cut by a sharp blade, and the cut was as smooth as a mirror, with two loud bangs. A divine emperor's magic weapon was destroyed and fell to the ground. The loud noise was like a hammer, hitting everyone's heart hard. That was a divine emperor's magic weapon, almost indestructible, but it was destroyed just like that. People didn't even see what weapon Long Chen used. Nether Dragon Blood Escape. The leader of the Nether Dragon clan pinched his palm and his figure instantly disappeared. Pa! Just as his figure was fading away, the starlight trembled, and a huge hand covered with stars slapped the shadow. His already fading shadow instantly became solid, and he was knocked to the ground by a slap. Blood escape? Escape your sister. The leader of the Nether Dragon clan was grabbed by the neck by a huge hand covered with stars, and lifted into the air like a chicken. With a wave of his hand, he destroyed the magic weapon of the God Emperor, and with a wave of his hand, he captured the leader of the Nether Dragon clan. He was a terrifying strong man with 900 Emperor Flames. Looking at the entire battlefield of the Heaven Realm, 900 Emperor Flames is definitely the strongest among the strong, the genius among the geniuses, but in Long Chen's hands, he didn't even have a trace of resistance. Qingyi had fought with this man before, although she suffered a great loss in terms of weapons, but even without weapons, she was not sure of winning against this man. However, Long Chen appeared and suppressed this terrifying strong man with a wave of his hand. She still felt a little unbelievable at this time. Seeing this, some of the strong men of the Nether Dragon clan who reacted quickly ran away. Bang, bang, bang. However, as soon as they moved, a blood-colored barrier emerged, covering the entire world, and all the strong men of the Nether Dragon clan were bounced back. Don't kill me. The strong man of the Nether Dragon clan had his throat pinched and spoke with his soul. Puff! As a result, Long Chen's other big hand, covered with purple dragon scales, directly slapped his head to pieces. Seeing this scene, Qingyi was stunned. She thought that Long Chen had captured this person to keep him alive. If he wanted to kill him, why did he still capture him? Wouldn't it be enough to just slap him to death just now? What she didn't know was that if she wanted to deprive the other party of his luck, she had to use the Dragon Clan's magical powers to kill him. And it was almost impossible for Long Chen's dragon blood power to kill a strong man of this level. So Long Chen used the power of the stars to capture him and then killed him with the power of dragon blood. Puff, puff, puff. Long Chen's figure flashed rapidly. The power of the stars in his right hand bound the man, and the power of the dragon blood in his left hand killed him. Long Chen's figure was as fast as a ghost. After several flashes, blood mist filled the sky. In an instant, all the strong men of the Nether Dragon clan present were killed. When Long Chen returned to his original position, the blood mist in the void was still blooming. Long Chen's speed was too fast, so fast that it was frightening. After the battle with Ao Gu, Long Chun condensed a new set of three-piece domineering body. His understanding and control of the nebulous step reached a new level, and his speed was even faster. Even the strong ones with 800 imperial flames would find it difficult to resist. What's more, they were in fear and panic, and no one could resist Long Chun's move. Seeing that Long Chun was so powerful, Qing Yi's face showed ecstasy. Lord Long Chun came, so Lord Meng Yao was saved, and the Dragon Clan was saved. Buzz, buzz, buzz. After Long Chun killed these strong men of the Nether Dragon Clan, the imperial flame in his body surged wildly and kept growing until it stopped at 413. When the imperial flame broke through 400, Long Chun clearly felt that the power of dragon blood became more and more condensed and more powerful, as if some of its powerful energy was being awakened. I told you, the blood of the Chaos Dragon Emperor is definitely not ordinary dragon blood. It can't be that weak. It turns out that the blood of the Dragon Emperor needs the Emperor Flame to activate it. Hee. Long Chun clenched his fists, feeling the vast power of the Emperor Flame in his body, and he smiled. The fluctuations of the 400 Emperor Flames, Long Chun compared them and found that they were definitely comparable to the strong man with 700 Emperor Flames. In other words, even without the power of the stars, relying on the power of the dragon blood alone, with Long Chun's rich combat experience and the magical powers of the Dragon Clan, it is enough to easily kill a strong man of this level. This is still 400 Emperor Flames. What if it is 500, 600, or even 900? Long Chun dared not imagine it. What surprised Long Chun the most was that when the dragon blood had 400, the purple blood and the 7-color supreme blood also had 400 Emperor Flames. The dragon blood was very generous and shared all its power with them, growing with them. Don't think about the Starry Sky battle suit for now. Hurry up and condense the Emperor Flame. That's the real deal. Long Chun found that after condensing the Emperor Flame to 400, Long Chun's realm began to loosen, and there were signs of a breakthrough. For others, there was almost no relationship between realm and Emperor Flame, but Long Chun's realm finally began to loosen because of the increase of Emperor Flame, and because Long Chun's pills had never stopped during this period, and he was about to enter the 11th heaven of the human Emperor realm. Lord Long Chun. At this time, Qing Yi and others gathered together. Everyone looked excited, and changed the previous decadent atmosphere of being chased. Let's go, talk while walking, Long Chun said. Boom! A strong man from the divine winged owl dragon clan directly summoned his original body. This strong man with 700 Emperor Flames used the secret method of his clan when everyone was being chased. Under the cover of everyone, he broke through to the divine Emperor realm and was able to appear in his original body. If it weren't for his sacrifice, the strong men with him would definitely be killed and would not be able to hold on until Qing Yi arrived. The divine winged dragon turned into a dragon, with its wings spread out. Although it was already very tired, it still cheered up. With the burning imperial flame, it carried everyone and ran at full speed. Master Long Chun, Master Meng Yao is in danger. Qing Yi had the opportunity to tell Long Chun the whole story. It turned out that all this was caused by Meng Yao. Meng Yao was indeed the first cultivation genius in the history of the Dragon Clan. After entering the battlefield of the heavenly domain, she obtained the inheritance of her ancestors, and her imperial flames advanced by leaps and bounds, breaking through to as many as 996 in one fell swoop. When Long Chun heard about the 996 imperial flames, he couldn't help but be surprised. This Meng Yao was simply a monster. This speed was too terrifying. When she was in the dragon domain, her talent was the first, but looking at the entire battlefield of the heavenly domain, it didn't seem to be a big deal. After all, when Long Chun first met Long Biluo, her imperial flames were more than Meng Yao's. It has only been a short time, and Meng Yao has condensed 996 imperial flames, which is only 3 steps away from the extreme state of imperial flames. Qing Yi continued to tell how Meng Yao found the inheritance of her ancestors and received the blessings of the elders of the Dilong clan, and her strength improved by leaps and bounds. However, just when Meng Yao was about to make a final effort to condense another Emperor Flame. According to Qing Yi, each of the last 3 steps was actually as difficult as ascending to heaven. The blessing on Di Mengyao had not yet dissipated, and she was ready to use the last bit of blessing power to go one step further. But what she didn't expect was that the inheritance power of the Dilong clan had long been targeted by the Nether Dragon clan. However, they were one step later than Di Mengyao. When they found out that Di Mengyao accepted the inheritance, they began to gather strong men, and when Di Mengyao attacked the 997th Emperor Flame, they launched a fierce attack. Qingyi and others never thought that the Nether Dragon clan would collude with the Evil Dragon clan from outside the domain to deal with Di Mengyao together. Di Mengyao was besieged, and a great battle broke out. The Nether Dragon clan and the Outer Domain Evil Dragon clan sent out all their masters. The battle shocked the world and attracted countless masters to watch. Naturally, the news leaked out. After the Dragon clan masters got the news, they immediately summoned masters from all sides to support them, and Qingyi was one of them. However, what shocked her was that with her strength, she was unable to enter the core battle circle, and was besieged by the strong men of the two tribes. Later, Di Mengyao saw that the situation was critical. This tactic of adding fuel was very disadvantageous to the Dragon clan, because there were not many people from the Dragon clan entering the battlefield of the Sky Domain. If this continued, the strong men of the Dragon clan might be wiped out, so she ordered everyone to break out. She had the blessing of the ancestors, and the power of the ancestors remains to borrow, so she could barely hold on. Seeing that the situation was not good, Qingyi and others could only withdraw first, then concentrate their strength, and then find a way to save Di Mengyao. If she could refine the Azure Dragon Pearl, she would definitely be able to help Di Mengyao. As a result, they were stuck by a terrifying guy along the way. If it weren't for Long Chun, they would probably be in danger. The Nether Dragon clan is really lingering. This time, we will completely settle accounts with this group of traitors. After hearing Qingyi's words, a fierce look flashed in Long Chen's eyes. Boom, boom. Xiaolong's wings cut through the sky, radiating with supreme dragon power, and the huge figure rushed recklessly. Qingyi and others took the opportunity to heal their wounds behind Xiaolong. There was not much time left for them to heal their wounds. They had to hurry up, because they were about to face another fierce battle. Brother, thank you for your hard work. Long Chun stood on Xiaolong's huge head, feeling the breath of Xiaolong, which was rapidly declining. He had just experienced a fierce battle, and was still rushing on the road desperately, constantly consuming his life essence. All this was for Di Mengyao and the entire Dragon clan. Master Long Chun, what are you talking about? Master Mengyao, Master Qingyi, Master Mingkong, Master Xuetu, you are all the future of the Dragon clan. On weekdays I can't help much, but now I finally have the opportunity to contribute to the Dragon clan. Let alone consuming my true essence. Even if my life is taken away, I am willing. The strong man of the Xiaolong clan said while gritting his teeth. Among the crowd, he was the fastest and could carry everyone on his back. He thought this was an extremely sacred and glorious mission. However, Lord Long Chun, you must be careful. The enemies we are facing this time are too strong. Not only are there the Nether Dragon clan, but there are also the evil dragons from the Outer Domain. Their strength is terrifying. The strong man of the Xiaolong clan said. In the face of absolute power, they can only be regarded as a dish at most. Facing the reminder of the strong man of the Xiaolong clan, Long Chun smiled slightly and thought to himself, now Long Chen's strength is unprecedented. With the evil moon in hand, I have the world. How can the broken god emperor's magic weapon block its slash? Even without the dragon bone evil moon, his star power is unprecedented. Even if he doesn't use the starry sky battle suit, it is enough to look down on the 8 wastelands. What's more, he already has more than 400 emperor flames. Under the explosion of the dragon blood power, the power is already violent, and as the emperor flame continues to increase, his power will become stronger and stronger. Boom! The god wings Xiaolong flew wildly, and soon alarmed a stream of terrifying auras, and they roared from a distance. Long Chun sensed the breath of the Nether Dragon clan and the breath of the evil dragons from outside the domain. They rushed over here quickly. However, their speed was not as fast as that of the divine winged owl dragon, and they were left far behind. In Long Chen's perception, there were already more than a dozen enemies chasing them at full speed. Not good. There are enemies right in front of us, we can't get around them. Suddenly, the divine winged owl dragon exclaimed. His speed was too fast. When he found the enemy, he had no time to dodge and rushed over directly. The other side also sensed them, and a terrifying breath rose up. It was a terrifying existence with 900 imperial flames, brewing a big move. Don't be afraid. You concentrate on getting on the road. Leave them to me. Facing such a strong man of this level, Long Chen took a deep breath, opened his hands, the stars flowed in his right hand, and the dragon scales emerged in his left hand. The power of the stars and the power of the dragon blood condensed crazily in his hands. Die! At this moment, there was a roar in front, and a giant dragon phantom emerged, covering the sky. The giant dragon opened its mouth and a breath of dark dragon breath came over the sky. The dark dragon breath carried the power of annihilation and corrosion. Wherever it passed, the runes of the avenue became decayed. The scene was extremely horrifying. The scalp of the god-winged owl dragon was numb, but he chose to believe in Long Chen and rushed forward with the dragon breath. Qingyi and others were also shocked. Such a strong man should avoid his sharp edge when he was charging. After all, if he fought hard, the aftermath of the battle might instantly kill all the dragons below the 800th Emperor Flame. Buzz! The god-winged owl dragon, who was rushing forward, suddenly sank and his speed dropped sharply. Long Chen took advantage of his speed and appeared in front of him in an instant. Star Shield! Long Chen shouted, and a huge star shield in his right hand forcibly pushed forward against the black dragon breath. The black dragon breath hit the star shield, like black water splashing and scattering in the sky. Long Chen went upstream, and the star chaos slammed into the head of the giant dragon. With a loud bang, the giant dragon's phantom and the star shield exploded together. As the giant dragon exploded, a strong man covered in black scales appeared. Puff! The strong man spurted out a mouthful of blood with an unbelievable look on his face. The strongest attack of his innate magical power was actually smashed by someone. In the endless scattered starlight, he saw a figure wearing a starry sky battle suit. When he saw the starry sky battle suit was rapidly dimming, and the dragon scale battle armor under the starry sky battle suit emerged. Then he saw Long Chen's cold and invisible eyes. Emperor Blood Seal Cross Destroying God. Long Chen roared, and the dragon roared for 9 days. The sacred power shook the heavens and the worlds. More than 400 dragon blood emperor flames were forcibly compressed in this small cross divine pattern. The strong man was horrified. He wanted to hide, but his numb body did not obey at all. Bang! Long Chen's palm hit him firmly on the chest, directly piercing through his emperor flame armor, and making a bloody hole in his chest. The bloody palm penetrated from the chest and out from the back. However, the strong man with more than 900 emperor flames had an extremely strong body, and this terrifying blow did not explode his body. However, Long Chen had already calculated it. The moment the palm pierced through his body, a 7-colored divine sword appeared behind Long Chen. Puff, the strong man with more than 900 emperor flames, still wanted to struggle and escape, but was pierced through the head by the 7-colored divine sword, and the emperor flames around his body were instantly extinguished, and he was directly killed. Buzz! Just as the strong man was killed and the emperor flames were extinguished, a large amount of emperor flame power poured into Long Chen's body, and the emperor flames were growing wildly. Beautiful! When Long Chen felt the increase in the power of the emperor flames, he was surprised and happy. Facing this level of terrifying existence, it is not difficult for Long Chen to kill him, but the difficulty lies in that Long Chen must use the magical power of the Dragon Clan to kill him before he can absorb the power of the Emperor's flame. If it is normal, Long Chen needs to use the power of the stars to beat him half to death, and then use the power of dragon blood to kill him. But now time does not allow. Long Chen can only take a risk. After using the power of the stars to hit the opponent, the powerful recoil force will inevitably make the opponent lose the power to resist in a blink of an eye. And Long Chun also seized this opportunity and completed a perfect attack. Unfortunately, even if the 400 Emperor Flames were used to the extreme, they could not kill him with one blow. At that time, Long Chen's heart moved, and he directly summoned the power of the 7-colored Supreme Blood to kill him. Long Chun did this with gritted teeth. If he failed, he would lose an opportunity to absorb the 900 Emperor Flames. But Long Chun was betting. He bet that since the power of Dragon Blood could divide the power of the Emperor Flame into Purple Blood and 7-color Supreme Blood, then the 7-color Supreme Blood should also be able to achieve the effect of Dragon Blood when killing a Dragon Clan strongman. When the vast power of the Emperor Flame poured into Long Chen's body, Long Chun knew that he had made the right bet. Boom! At this moment, the God-winged owl dragon arrived, and Long Chun gently landed on its head, passed through the ripples in the sky, and disappeared. And below the battlefield, the strong man and a group of his men had already prepared for the battle. But before they understood what had happened, everything was over. Lord Long Chun is mighty, a group of Dragon Clan warriors shouted excitedly. Long Chun killed the peerless warrior in an instant. From the moment he made the move to the moment he finished, it was only a blink of an eye. A warrior with 900 Imperial Flames died just like that. The wings of the divine winged owl dragon crossed the sky, making a deafening roar. It seemed like the voice of a king, cheering for Long Chun. Killing a warrior with 900 Imperial Flames was as easy as taking something out of a bag. Looking at the entire battlefield of the heavenly domain, how many people can do it? Qing Yi's beautiful eyes flashed with light. Looking at Long Chen's back and the excited expressions of the crowd, she couldn't help but fall into reverie. When Long Chun came to the heavenly dragon domain, almost the entire Dragon Clan disliked him and even hated this human race. However, Long Chun quickly conquered the entire Dragon Clan with his powerful personal charm. He refused the blessing of the Emperor's crown twice and gave up the supreme power to control the entire Dragon Clan twice. Looking at the entire world, who can do it? Even when facing death in the heavenly calamity, he never surrendered. The imperial crown was right in front of him, which was the hope of life, but he never lowered his noble head. Who cannot admire and worship such a peerless hero? Looking at Long Chen's back, Qingyi showed a bright smile on her face. With Long Chen here, the Dragon Clan will surely be able to revive its glory. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this time, Long Chen did not pay attention to the reactions of the people behind him. His mind was on the Emperor Flame. However, what disappointed Long Chen was that the situation of breaking through 500 Emperor Flames as he expected did not happen. In the end, the Emperor Flame stayed at 457. You are too useless, aren't you? Long Chen couldn't help but curse in his heart. This guy looks very strong, but the power of the Emperor Flame is not pure. It has only increased by 44. Although the Emperor Flame needs more and more energy in the later stage, according to the ratio between them, even if it cannot break through 500, it should not be much less. Long Chun was so angry that he almost pulled the body of this guy out of the black soil and whipped the corpse. He thought it was a big piece of fat meat, but it turned out to be full of bones. No, this is definitely not right. His strength is stronger, but why is the energy of the Emperor Flame so much less? Long Chun felt something was wrong. The threat this person posed to Long Chun was far greater than that of the strong man from the Nether Dragon Clan, and his imperial power was even more powerful. Logically, this shouldn't be the case. Is it because he is from the Outer Domain Dragon Clan? If there is any difference, then the race is the biggest difference. Long Chun stood on the head of the Xiaolong dragon, his face calm, without any joy of victory, which made the strong men of the Dragon Clan admire him even more. What is a real strong man? Killing a terrifying existence without a trace of complacency. If it were someone else, I'm afraid they would have shouted with excitement. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, there was a loud explosion in the left front. Blood filled the air, fierce dragon power radiated, and the sound of dragon roars continued. The mountains had already jumped back and the earth began to sink. It's the breath of Xue Tu. Qingyi shouted. She recognized the owner of the breath. Go over. Long Chun shouted, and the divine wing Xiaolong immediately adjusted its direction and flew to the left front. Boom, boom. The void ahead kept exploding. As everyone approached, they saw that Xue Tu, who was wrapped in more than 900 imperial flames, had entered a violent state. His bloodthirsty aura filled the air. He actually fought 3 dragon clan masters alone. When Qing Yi and others saw the 3 dragon clan masters, they were immediately furious. 2 of them were from the evil dragon clan outside the domain, and the other was a woman who was a master from the Nether Dragon clan. Master Xue Tu, hold on. We are here to save you. The divine winged owl dragon saw that Xue Tu was covered in blood and had multiple injuries, and shouted loudly. Hearing the divine winged owl dragon's voice, Xue Tu was immediately refreshed. At this time, he had consumed a lot of energy and was almost unable to hold on. However, at this time, he could only hear the voice and had no time to watch the situation outside. He shouted loudly, "Don't worry about me. I can handle it. Come to support Lady Mengyao. There are too many enemies on her side. A bunch of idiots, as many as come, as many as die. Today, your Tianlong Lo realm will be destroyed here." The woman of the Nether Dragon clan in black scale armor had a mocking look on her lips. She waved the dragon bone whip in her hand at an extremely fast speed, trying to kill Xue Tu in a few moves. What a big tone! At this moment, a cold snort came. Hearing the cold snort, the 3 strong men who besieged Xue Tu felt a chill on their backs at the same time. In their minds, at the same time, a man in a black robe holding a bronze tripod and shaking the balance appeared. Long Chun. And the other 3 exclaimed at the same time, and at this moment, a figure rushed into the battlefield through the heavy air waves, with starlight flashing under his feet, and instantly appeared in front of the woman of the Nether Dragon clan. The woman from the Nether Dragon clan was shocked. Although she was powerful and possessed 937 Emperor Flames, Long Chen's reputation was too famous, and her life instinct had already made her sense the fatal danger. Long Chen, so what? Die! The woman from the Nether Dragon clan shouted angrily, shaking the dragon bone whip in her hand, and endless Emperor Flames entangled, forming a huge vortex that instantly enveloped Long Chen. You dare to use a broken God Emperor's magical weapon to show off? Long Chen snorted coldly, ignoring the dragon bone whip entanglement, and just ran straight over. Seeing Long Chen so arrogant, the woman's mouth showed a sinister smile. Although her dragon bone whip was a broken God Emperor's magical weapon, it was engraved with a formation. Once Long Chen stepped into it, the formation on the divine whip would be activated under the blessing of her Emperor Flame. Boss, be careful. When seeing this scene, Xue Tu screamed. He had suffered a great loss in front of this trick before and almost died in the hands of this woman. Seeing this trick reappear, he couldn't help but be anxious. Boom! At this moment, a blood-colored light appeared, and the dragon bone evil moon appeared in Long Chen's hand. With a light chop, the blood light pierced the sky, and the dragon bone whip exploded. The broken divine emperor's magic weapon was completely insignificant in front of the dragon bone evil moon. Breaking it was like chopping melons and vegetables. Puff! The arm of the woman from the Nether Dragon clan holding the whip exploded, and at the same time, a large hand covered with dragon scales slapped fiercely. The woman from the Nether Dragon clan roared, opened her mouth, and a black sword shot out. This was her innate magical power, and it was incredibly powerful. Boom! With a loud bang, Long Chen's large hand covered with dragon scales was bounced off by the black sword. The woman was extremely terrified at this time. Her innate magical power could not even cut off Long Chen's arm. This made her completely scared. She exerted force on her feet and quickly retreated, trying to escape. What she didn't expect was that behind her, at some point, a 7-colored divine sword appeared hidden in the void. On the 7-colored divine sword, the imperial flames flowed, and the sharp aura was about to split the sky. However, this sharp 7-colored divine sword was wrapped in a layer of light purple air, covering up its aura. Puff! The woman retreated suddenly, which was equivalent to slamming her back against the seven-colored divine sword, and the long sword instantly pierced her chest. At the moment when her body paused, a finger wrapped in purple imperial flames touched her forehead. Everything happened so fast that no one except Long Chun could understand the details. When Long Chun pointed a finger at the woman's forehead, the woman trembled all over, and the imperial flames on her body instantly dissipated, and she died. Buzz! At this time, a large amount of imperial flame power rushed into Long Chen's body. Long Chen's imperial flames instantly broke through 500, and it didn't stop until 537. The emperors of the same 900 emperors had huge differences in the energy of the emperors. This time, Long Chun understood that the emperors of the Nether Dragon clan absorbed a lot of dragon luck. And this kind of luck is what Long Chun needs. This thing is obviously much less in the strong outside the domain. It only took Long Chun a blink of an eye to kill the strong man of the Nether Dragon clan. At this time, the figure of the divine winged owl dragon had already killed him. Long Chun flipped over and landed steadily on the head of the divine winged owl dragon. Boom, boom. The figure of the divine winged owl dragon passed through the void, and at the same time, Long Chen's voice came, "Brother, you are great. You made me proud, and the remaining two are left to you." Before, Xuetu was worried about Di Mengyao, and he had to hold 3 enemies by himself. In fact, he also knew that he could not hold on for long. But for Di Mengyao, he was willing to die here. Di Mengyao's talent was much higher than his. She was the future of the Dragon clan. Long Chun also saw Xuetu's dilemma and helped him kill the strongest one. Only she had an imperial weapon. Without the threat of the imperial weapon, Xuetu would not be so tired when fighting 1 against 2. Even if he couldn't win, at least he wouldn't lose. "Boss, leave it to me. I will definitely bring you the heads of these 2 guys." "Kill Xuetu." This guy heard Long Chen's encouragement, and his blood boiled immediately. His eyes were red, and he gritted his teeth and killed the 2, as if he saw the murderer of his father. This guy is crazy. The 2 powerful men from the evil dragon clan outside the domain were terrified by Long Chen's methods before. When Long Chen left, they had no time to breathe a sigh of relief. Xuetu was filled with blood and burning with imperial flames, and began to fight them desperately. Boom, boom, boom. The 2 resisted frantically, but they were horrified to find that this guy didn't know what medicine he had taken wrong, and he was so fierce that the 2 were killed and retreated step by step. "Go!" The 2 saw that the situation was not good. This guy was too fierce. They needed to avoid his edge, otherwise they might die in his hands. "Go? Where to go? If I don't cut off your heads today, I will cut off my head." Xuetu roared, like a madman, chasing the 2 and killing them wildly. Boom, boom, boom. The sky in front kept exploding, and the roar of the giant dragon formed a sound wave that kept tearing the void apart. The flames and thunder intertwined, the Law runes were collapsing, and waves of terrifying pressure came. The speed of the divine winged owl dragon was suppressed in an instant, and even a strong man like Qingyi felt difficulty breathing. "We're here. Lord Meng Yao must be fighting fiercely inside, but we can't get in at all." The divine winged owl dragon screamed in horror. The aftermath of the battle alone was enough to make it difficult for him to move. With his strength, he couldn't even enter the battlefield, let alone provide support. Qingyi's eyes flashed with determination, and the emperor flame around her body began to burn. Even if she risked her life, she would rescue Lord Mengyao. Emperor Mengyao is the hope of the Dragon clan. She has an amazing talent for cultivation. So far, she is the only one who has the hope to break through the 3-9 return to 1, directly cross the divine emperor barrier, and advance to the emperor. They must protect her. Lord Long Chun. Qingyi looked at Long Chun, ready to rush in with him. Long Chun glanced at the void that kept exploding in front of him. At that moment, he felt that his blood was boiling. Only such a strong man was qualified to be his opponent. "Qingyi, you lead your brothers and sisters to patrol around, and support the strong men of our dragon clan who are alone." Long Chun took a deep breath and said, "Then here." Qingyi was shocked. "Leave this to me. As long as I, Long Chun, am alive, no one can hurt Meng Yao." Buzz. Stars circulated around Long Chun, and the 6 gates opened at the same time, and he took a step forward. Boom, boom. The sky on the battlefield in front of him was hit by Long Chun and a huge hole was created. At the moment when the huge hole appeared, people saw a dozen figures in a twisted space, surrounding Di Mengyao. The giant dragons opened their mouths, and chains wrapped around Di Mengyao's body. Di Mengyao was trapped in it, and the imperial flames around her were being extracted by a strange force. Assholes. They want to seize the imperial flames of Lord Mengyao. When seeing this scene, Qingyi and others were furious. In the twisted space, there were a total of 16 strong men, 6 of whom were from the extraterritorial Evil Dragon Clan, and the rest were all strong men from the Dark Dragon Clan. The most terrifying thing was that these strong men were amazingly powerful. The weakest one had condensed 958 imperial flames, and the strongest one had condensed 987 imperial flames. Among these strong men, there were both men and women. They formed seals with their hands, their faces were ferocious, and their eyes were full of greed, like hungry wolves staring at flesh and blood. Give up struggling. The blessing of your ancestors has disappeared, and you were attacked by us when you attacked the 997th Emperor Flame. The rebellious power of the Emperor Flame has already seriously injured you. You are powerless to recover. A long-haired man from the Nether Dragon clan smiled sinisterly. He seemed to see the hope of victory. Di Mingyao's talent was too amazing. If so many Emperor Flames were shared by them, each of them could at least increase a dozen Emperor Flames again, and their strength would be a big step closer. Nether Dragon lineage, traitors of the Dragon clan, you will not have a good ending. Di Mengyao gritted her teeth. The power of her Emperor Flame was already somewhat out of control. Once it collapsed, her Emperor Flame would be like a flood bursting through a dam, and instantly divided up by these guys. But she had no way out. When she attacked the 997th Emperor Flame, she was ambushed, causing the Emperor Flame to flow backwards, and she almost exploded and died. After being severely injured, her strength was greatly reduced. She hated herself so much. She hated herself for being too greedy and too eager for quick success. She should have stabilized her realm, found a hidden place, and proceeded step by step, instead of trying to get everything done at once. Unfortunately, it was too late now. The blessing power of the ancestors had disappeared. The Emperor Flame power in her body was already in danger under the crazy absorption of everyone. Buzz. Suddenly, Di Mengyao's body protection divine light exploded. At that moment, she lost control of the Emperor Flame. In an instant, she was completely desperate. Boom, however. At this moment, the void exploded, and a black shadow passed through the sky and appeared behind Di Mengyao. A warm big hand pressed on her jade back. The Emperor Flame power that was about to lose control was imprisoned by the vast power of the stars. Long Chen's voice resounded throughout the battlefield. If I let any of you leave the battlefield alive today, my name, Long Chen, will be written backwards from now on. At the critical moment, Long Chen arrived. At this time, Long Chen's killing intent was boiling. If he arrived a step later, Di Mingyao's imperial flame would dissipate. Even if she didn't die, she would become disabled and unable to practice from then on. This would be more painful for the arrogant Di Mengyao than killing her. Di Mengyao has been given endless hope since she was born. She has always shouldered the future of the Dragon Clan. Because of this glorious mission, she has been practicing hard and never dared to slack off. She has amazing talent, but her actual combat experience is pitiful. Because she has no time to fight, the Dragon Clan dare not let her take risks. Her fate is very similar to that of the Bat Queen. Their cultivation talents are invincible in the world. Even in the long river of history, among the endless Tianjiao, they are the most dazzling ones. Sometimes, God is fair. He gives you a peerless talent and a fatal shortcoming. If Di Mengyao has a strong combat talent, not to mention reaching the level of the Dragon Blood Legion. Even if she reaches the level of Qingyi and Shuetu, it will be enough to crush this group of guys. Unfortunately, the fighting talent is partly innate and partly acquired. Di Mengyao's innate talent is very weak, and the acquired talent is too late to be tapped. At this moment, Di Mengyao is like a captive tiger, facing a group of wild wolves. She has the power to kill them, but she can't use it. Lord Long Chen. Di Mengyao, who was already desperate, heard Long Chen's voice and smelled Long Chen's breath. She was ecstatic. Her face turned red and white, and her breathing became rapid. At this moment, she had already reached her limit, relying entirely on her willpower. At this moment, she felt dizzy and relaxed, and she could not hold on. Long Chen hurriedly fed Di Mengyao another pill, and said at the same time, "Hold on, don't fall asleep. Your Emperor Flame has been stripped. You need to take it back. Otherwise your Emperor Flame will dissipate a lot." Although Long Chen sealed the Emperor Flame that had separated from her, if Di Mengyao did not take it back herself, a large part of it would be absorbed by the heavenly Tao, and then all her previous efforts would be in vain. Di Mengyao gritted her teeth and nodded, but when she looked at the powerful men around her, her eyes were full of worry. Just absorb the Emperor Flame with peace of mind, and leave these people to me. Long Chen signaled her to take care of herself. Di Mengyao took a deep breath. Her jade hands trembled slowly, and she made a seal with difficulty, trying to gather the chaotic Emperor Flame. Long Chen, dare to ruin the good things of my Nether Dragon clan? Go to hell! A powerful man from the Nether Dragon clan was the first to rush over. He held a dragon-tooth spear, which was an imperial weapon, carrying the supreme divine power, and stabbed at Long Chen fiercely. Boom! However, this divine weapon, when it was still 10 feet away from Long Chen, made a loud bang, and the shield composed of blood-colored petals blocked this shocking blow. The terrifying ripples were stirred, and a sharp roar broke out. But Long Chen and Di Mengyao under the shield did not even tremble a hair. What? The powerful man of the Nether Dragon clan was horrified. The blood-colored shield actually made his arm numb, and the spear almost fell out of his hand. The petals looked thin and weak, but they could burst out with such a shocking power that everyone was shocked. At this time, Qingyi, who was far away from the battlefield, suddenly waved her hand and led everyone to retreat quietly, fearing that they would alarm the group of people. At this time, she finally understood what Long Chen meant. If they stayed here, they would only become a burden. If the group of people found them and they couldn't do anything to Long Chen, they would definitely attack them. Boom! Just as Qingyi and others were retreating, the dozen or so strong men finally reacted and launched an attack on Long Chen. Another divine emperor magic weapon slashed towards Long Chen fiercely, and the shield formed by the flying petals shook him back. What is that? The strong man looked incredulous. The blood-colored petals looked so strange and light, but once they gathered together, their divine emperor magic weapons could not shake them. Action together. Don't give that woman a chance to recover. A strong man from the extraterritorial evil dragon clan shouted. Boom, boom, boom. Attack after attack hit Long Chen fiercely. Billions of petals around Long Chen flew and condensed into a shield, blocking the attacks one after another. But these strong men were like crazy, attacking frantically. They believed that Long Chen could not hold out for long under such a terrifying attack. At this time, Long Chen's big hand was still pressing on Di Mengyao's jade back. The power of the stars did not dare to slack off at all, and blocked Di Mengyao's Emperor Flame with all his strength. These Emperor Flames had the momentum to get out of control. Fortunately, Long Chen took action in time, and now they are not so violent. However, even so, Long Chen's star power was very strenuous to operate. Di Mengyao's Emperor Flame power was too strong, and there was even a sign of exceeding Long Chen's star power. Perhaps as Qingyi said before, these last 3 steps, one step at a time, the gap is so big that it is unimaginable. Xiaoyu, are you okay? At this time, Long Chen was doing his best to help Di Mengyao, and everything depended on the support of Dragon Bone Xiaoyu. A bunch of ants. What can they do to me? Longu Sheiyue replied indifferently. Damn, it was tricked. Long Chun was speechless for a while, but Longu Sheiyue's words immediately reassured Long Chun. Buzz, buzz, buzz. As Long Chen's star power trembled, coupled with Di Mengyao's own efforts, a large amount of emperor flame began to flow back into her body, and Long Chun suddenly felt much more relaxed. Once the emperor flame power flowed back, it would be much easier for Di Mengyao to control it. Sure enough, after a few breaths, Long Chen's star power could hardly feel the pressure and could be completely withdrawn. But Long Chun still pretended to be very nervous, and Longu Sheiyue, under Long Chen's secret command, acted as if his defense was about to be broken, as if they could break Sheiyue's defense as long as they tried harder. This group of people immediately saw hope and attacked frantically, and the emperor flame burned to the extreme. At this time, the horror of Longu Sheiyue could be seen. After absorbing the dark power of the dark spider statue, its power became stronger and stronger. Even without the support of Long Chen's soul power, it could independently block attacks of this intensity. In its words, if it was only this intensity, it could support 1 month and 3 days. Ha! After half an incense stick of time, Di Mengyao finally subdued Di Yen. She slowly opened her eyes and watched everyone besiege frantically. Sheiyue's defense was in danger. Di Mengyao gritted her teeth and said, Lord Long Chun, Mengyao will fight with you. Let's fight them. At this time, Di Mengyao had just experienced a big battle and tried her best to subdue Di Yen. At this time, the whole person was almost in a state of exhaustion and could not fight at all. Boom! However, at this moment, the void exploded, and a strong man from the Nether Dragon clan actually broke through Longu Sheiyue's defense and killed the two. Die! The strong man from the Nether Dragon clan roared, and pointed a spear directly at Long Chen's back, with the posture of piercing Long Chun and Di Mengyao with one shot. Dang! The spear was 1 foot away from Long Chen's back, and blood-colored petals flew, forming a shield, blocking his spear. What? The man was shocked. Wasn't the petal shield broken? How could it still be here? However, a scene that shocked him even more appeared. He suddenly found that only Di Mengyao was left in front of him, and Long Chun had disappeared. At that moment, the hair on his body stood up. The Nether Dragon clan warrior suddenly felt something was wrong, and his hair stood on end. He seemed to be stared at by an ancient beast, and the threat of death filled his body. The Nether Dragon clan warrior roared, and the spear in his hand suddenly smashed behind him. He could not sense Long Chen's position, so he could only swing randomly. However, when he swung, screams came from a distance, because they saw Long Chun appeared above the head of the Nether Dragon clan warrior. He was upside down, with his big hands open. A purple cross emerged, and he slapped the head of the Nether Dragon clan warrior. Bang! The Nether Dragon clan warrior made a mistake in his prediction. In front of a master like Long Chun, he had been sentenced to death. With a palm falling, the head of the Nether Dragon clan warrior was instantly slapped and killed directly. Long Chun. Long Chun killed the Nether Dragon clan warrior, and the other Nether Dragon clan warriors were furious, roaring and killing desperately, as if this person had a special status in the Nether Dragon clan. Boom boom. Under the siege of the crowd, Longu Sheiyue's defense instantly became shaky. Longu Sheiyue said gloomily, Damn, it feels so good to attack people. Do you want to let another one in to kill? No, I prefer the feeling of fighting violence with violence. Long Chun felt the vast power of the Emperor's flame pouring into his body, and Long Chun felt his blood boiling. This kind of devouring and plundering made Long Chen's power increase wildly. That kind of pleasure was something Long Chun had never experienced in his life. Great. I'll leave this group of guys to you. Longu Sheiyue smiled. Boom. At this moment, endless petals flew, the shield was pierced, and the strong men of the evil dragons from outside the domain and the Nether Dragon clan came to kill one after another. Ha! Di Mengyao took a deep breath, and a golden war halberd appeared in her hand. with vast dragon energy entwined. This war halberd was the treasure of the Tianlong Law domain, the Tianlong War Halberd. This is not a broken divine weapon of the God Emperor, but a divine weapon nourished by the luck of the Tianlong Law realm. It is powerful. Di Mengyao has been in danger several times, and she relied on this war halberd to overcome the difficulties. Moreover, with the help of this divine weapon, she found various opportunities. Before the life and death moment, her body merged with the Tianlong War halberd, intending to self-destruct the divine weapon and take everyone on the road together. Unexpectedly, they worked together to activate the magic circle and control her, so that she could not perform the self-destruction, and this divine weapon was preserved. Lord Long Chun, this war halberd, Di Mengyao shouted. She wanted to give the Tianlong War halberd to Long Chun. Although this Tianlong War halberd is currently only activated by her in the Tianlong Law realm, she believes that with Long Chen's strength, he should be recognized by the Tianlong War halberd. Why use a butcher knife to kill a chicken? You overestimate them. Long Chun shook his head, looking at the figures who were killing like meteors, with a face full of pride and confidence. At this time, Long Chen's Emperor Flame had increased to 580, and the power of the three bloods became more and more terrifying. Boom, boom. Above the void, the stars were shining, and the gates of stars opened one after another. Endless star power gathered towards Long Chun, and his aura instantly surged to the extreme. So what if you are the descendant of the 9 stars? You must die today. A strong man from the evil dragon clan outside the domain, with wings on his back, evil aura entangled, claws tearing through the void, and grabbing at Long Chun fiercely. When this person made a move, the world trembled, and even Long Chen's sea of stars swayed. This person's strength was the best among everyone. He had 987 Emperor Flames. The one who was killed by Long Chun before was the weakest among the crowd, with 958 Emperor Flames. There was a difference of 29 Emperor Flames between the two, but the aura alone was several times different. It can be seen that the later the Emperor Flame is, the more quantity determines the quality. Just you. Long Chun snorted coldly, clenched his fist with one hand, and the void suddenly collapsed, and endless stars gathered on his fist. Bang! A fist and a claw collided, erupting a deafening sonic boom. Long Chun and the strong man of the extraterritorial evil dragon clan groaned at the same time and flew backwards. No one got the upper hand in this attack. It seems that the limit of the power of the 6 gates is almost the same as the limit of this level. Long Chen's fist was numb from the shock, but he had an estimate of the power of the 6 gates in his heart. This should also be the limit of the power of the 6 gates. However, this result has made Long Chen extremely satisfied, and at the same time he was shocked by the 9-star Hegemon body art. The power of the 6 gates is equivalent to the height of the 987 Emperor Flames. Then, when the 7th gate is opened, are these guys only qualified to kneel down and surrender? What will happen if all 8 gates are opened? You dare to kill the descendants of the Emperor of the Nether Dragon clan. You deserve to die. At this moment, another figure came and took advantage of the moment, when Long Chun was shaken away by the strong man of the evil dragon clan, and stabbed Long Chen's back with a dragon spear. The dragon spear was suddenly grabbed by Long Chen's big hand covered with stars. Long Chun looked at the man coldly, and 961 Emperor Flames. You really don't know how much you weigh. You are so weak, but you dare to rush so fast. Long Chun looked at the man and shook his head. Buzz, Long Chen's big hand suddenly exerted force, and the dragon spear was instantly infected by the power of the stars. Bang! The long spear trembled, and the strong man of the Nether Dragon clan had his hands shaken away. This person's strength was far inferior to that of the strong man of the evil dragon clan. However, this person's talent was speed, so he was only a little slower than the strong man of the evil dragon clan. Perhaps because he wanted to kill Long Chen personally and give an explanation to the clan, he came to kill regardless of everything. Bang! Long Chun held the tip of the spear and pushed forward with his big hand. The spear hit the man's chest hard, and the man immediately spurted blood. Long Chun swung the dragon spear in his hand to the side. The dragon spear was like a flash of lightning, stabbing at a figure that had just approached. The figure was also a strong man from the evil dragon clan. He found that something was wrong and was about to use his magical powers to give the man a chance to escape, but he was directly shaken away by the dragon spear. Puff! The moment the man was shaken away, blood splattered, and the owner of the dragon spear had died in the northwest. If Long Chun couldn't catch such a big flaw, he would not be Long Chun. Long Chun had killed 2 strong men from the Nether Dragon clan in a row. The group of people were shocked and angry. This time they learned their lesson and no longer rushed to attack. Instead, they cooperated with others to attack together. Master Long San has never been afraid of group battles. Long Chun snorted coldly and slapped a long sword with his big hand covered with stars. As a result, the long sword turned halfway and slashed at a person next to him. The man was shocked and angry and hurriedly resisted. As a result, the sword contained the power of the previous attacker and Long Chun. The man was immediately shocked and blood spurted out and flew backwards. As he flew backwards, the siege appeared in an instant, but Long Chun caught up with the man in a flash. Seeing this, the others roared and wanted to rescue him, but it was too late. The man was shocked and confused at this time. His body and soul were almost separated. He watched Long Chun's figure approaching, as if watching the god of death coming mercilessly, but he had no way to do anything. Puff! Blood splashed, and another strong man of the Nether Dragon clan was killed. It seems that there are more than one person who has reached the realm of specialization. Long Chun has killed the 3rd superpowerful person of the Nether Dragon clan. Long Chun found that the power of these people's Emperor Flame is indeed terrifying, but the part that can be exerted is less than 80%. Moreover, they generally have weak combat perception and poor prediction of the opponent's body movements, which can only mean that they have not experienced many life and death battles. In comparison, their combat experience and combat instincts are much stronger than Di Mengyao, but compared with Long Chun they are far behind. In the martial arts, it is not the greater the power, the stronger it is. What is tested is a person's comprehensive strength. If a person's comprehensive strength is a wooden barrel, then a person's cultivation talent, magic manipulation, combat perception, rhythm control, insight, prediction, adaptability, etc. are like pieces of wood. These wooden boards are spliced into a wooden barrel, but these wooden boards must be high and low, uneven, and it is not the longest piece of wood that determines how much water the barrel can hold, but the shortest piece. This is the origin of the short board. This principle applies not only to cultivation, but also to other aspects. Including Di Mengyao, they have high cultivation talents and strong imperial flame power. If it is just a single comparison of strength, Di Mengyao must be the best among them. But Di Mengyao was besieged by everyone and had no power to fight back, and these people also had no power to fight back when facing Long Chun. That's because Long Chun can accurately find their shortcomings, but they can't find Long Chun's weaknesses. No step in the road of life is taken in vain, even if it seems to be a meaningless way back. Long Chun led his Dragon Blood Legion, groping in the dark, moving forward in the killing, crawling and rolling in blood and fire, and I don't know how many detours he took. However, these detours, accumulated together, formed a solid foundation, laying the foundation for their current achievements. This is the gap. Long Chun waved his hand and killed 3 top masters in a row. He was so relaxed, and behind this ease was the result of countless brushes with death. Don't be reckless. Control the rhythm. The strong man from the extraterritorial evil dragon clan shouted loudly. With the previous attack, he had already tested Long Chun's true strength, which was on par with him. It was not difficult for them to kill Long Chun together, but they could not give Long Chun the opportunity to defeat them one by one. Boom, boom, boom. The strong man from the evil dragon clan, 987 imperial flames burned wildly around his body, raising his aura to the extreme. He shouted to everyone and killed Long Chun alone. Boom! The 2 fists and claws touched each other, bursting out with a deafening roar, and the star power around Long Chun was also burning. This time it was still evenly matched. Boom, boom, boom. The two rushed together again, and every attack was a shocking collision. It must be said that this strong man from the evil dragon clan was very powerful. Regardless of personal strength or combat experience, he was far superior to everyone else. The dragon claws split the sky and a monstrous phantom appeared. Facing the strong man from the evil dragon clan, who attacked like a storm, Long Chun waved his fists, did not retreat a step, and fought hard with him. Endless star power surged wildly. This was the first time he had fought to his heart's content since the 6 gates were opened. At this time, his body was fully able to withstand the power of the 6 star gates. Endless star power surged in his body. He was venting and releasing it to his heart's content. Such an opponent was very rare. The star power kept surging in his body, and Long Chen's aura became stronger and stronger. In an instant, the two fought for hundreds of moves. The entire space was about to be blown up. Ripples intertwined, giving people a feeling of time and space confusion. Lord Long Chun. Seeing Long Chun wielding both hands and fighting the strongest among the crowd, as brave as a god descending from heaven, her eyes were full of envy and admiration. How great it would be if I could have the fighting talent like Lord Long Chun. Di Mengyao clenched her jade hands, her heart full of excitement. However, what Di Mengyao didn't know was that the talent she envied was possessed by every one of the more than 7,000 warriors in the Dragon Blood Legion. This talent is not innate, but acquired through hard work. What she didn't know was that beneath this dazzling talent, there were piles of corpses. Roar! The strong man of the evil dragon clan roared. The emperor's flames burned to the extreme, and the strange phenomena were burning with it, but he could not do anything to Long Chun. Buzz! At this moment, a strong man of the dark dragon clan quietly approached Di Mengyao, and the dragon's spear in his hand suddenly stabbed. This despicable guy took advantage of Di Mengyao's distraction and launched a sneak attack. Di Mengyao was seriously injured and her perception became worse. When she reacted, the spear was less than 10 feet away from her. Di Mengyao was shocked and was about to resist. Dang! The blood-colored petals reappeared, forming a shield to block the sneak attack. Don't pay attention to them. With me here, no one can hurt you. Longu Sheiwa's lazy voice came into Di Mengyao's ears. This was the first time that Di Mengyao heard the voice of Longu Sheiwa. Although Longu Sheiwa's voice was as gentle as possible, she still felt her hair stand on end when she heard it. In Longu Sheiwa's voice, there was an endless evil and dark aura, as if it could penetrate people's souls and evoke the most primitive fear. Is this the magic weapon of Lord Long Chun? This aura is so evil. Di Mengyao's heart trembled. Bang! The man who attacked Di Mengyao was unwilling to give up and fired another shot. As a result, the petals reappeared and formed a shield to bounce it off. At this moment, a loud noise came from a distance. The strong man of the evil dragon clan from outside the domain fought with Long Chun again. This time, Long Chun did not move, but he was shocked back several steps. At that moment, the faces of these people changed. The strong man of the evil dragon clan was the leader of them all and the strongest. The two of them fought with the most primitive strength, but he actually lost. This was not a good sign. At the beginning, the two fought evenly, but so quickly, the dragon clan strongman was defeated, which shows that his original power is not as strong as Long Chen's. His aura is declining while Long Chun is still in a strong state. Let's go together and help Lord Long Yu kill Long Chun. A dragon clan strongman, seeing the bad situation, shouted to everyone. If their leader was killed, they would really be finished. Not only would they not be able to seize Di Mengyao's imperial flame, I'm afraid more people would die here. Kill! Everyone shouted and killed Long Chun at the same time. This time, they were no longer reckless, but cooperated with each other. They did not attack in the first place, but were responsible for interference, to create opportunities for the dragon clan strongman named Long Yu. Among these people, only Long Yu was qualified to fight Long Chun head-on. The others were in danger of being killed by Long Chun in one blow. This tactic was most suitable for them. Boom! Attack after attack poured down on Long Chun. Long Chun had to deal with these interferences while fighting with Long Yu, and suddenly fell into a passive position. With the help of everyone, Long Yu was immediately inspired. Long Chun, you must die today. Pa! Long Chun slapped him in the face with a huge force, and he flew out. Buzz! The moment Long Yu was slapped away, Long Chen's figure disappeared instantly, and when he appeared again, he had come to the strong man who had attacked Di Mengyao before. The strong man was so scared that his soul flew away, and he even forgot to resist and escape, and was grabbed by Long Chen's neck. How can you be so timid? Don't be afraid, it won't hurt. Puff! Long Chen's big hand trembled violently, and the strong man's neck was instantly crushed by Long Chun. Another Nether Dragon Clan strongman was killed. Since Long Chun appeared, the battles have been fierce and fierce, but only a few breaths have passed. In these few breaths, for super strong men of the Nether Dragon Clan have been killed, and Long Chun has always been able to move forward and backward freely. Not to mention being injured, not even a hair was broken, as if the entire battlefield was under his control. Di Mingyao's beautiful eyes flashed with divine light. With the protection of the Dragon Bone Evil Moon, she concentrated on watching the battle. Long Chen's body movements and combat skills were perfectly matched, and there was no flaw to be found. Everyone was besieging, and it seemed that everyone attacked together, but if time was slowed down, it could be seen that their attacks had a sequence and could not be completely consistent. Even if others knew, it would be useless because they simply could not react that fast. But for Long Chun, he could come and go freely in the gaps of such attacks. Another strong man with more than 900 Emperor Flames was killed. This level of existence is definitely one of the top ones in the entire Tianyu battlefield. However, in front of Long Chun they had no power to fight back, and the fighting power shown by Long Chun was not so terrifying, and the gap was not far. Especially the strong man of the Evil Dragon Clan, the strength of the two was almost the same, but with the same strength, Long Chun could control the entire battlefield and kill the strong man as easily as taking something out of a bag. Buzz! When killing the strong man of the Nether Dragon Clan, Long Chen's aura suddenly bloomed. Even if Long Chun wanted to hide, he couldn't hide it. Boom! Around Long Chun, the imperial flames rose up, and the vast dragon might rushed straight into the sky. A total of 732 imperial flames flew around Long Chun. After killing 4 strong men of the Nether Dragon Clan in a row, Long Chun absorbed a huge amount of power. The power of the imperial flames was as violent as a mountain torrent, and it was out of control and automatically manifested. This time, Long Chun absorbed too much and had no time to adapt, causing the imperial flames to explode. As the Emperor Flame around Long Chun burst out, the sacred dragon might burst out all over the sky. The rolling air waves tore through the void. The Avenue runes were crushed, and the powerful people of the Evil Dragon Clan and the Dark Dragon Clan surrounding Long Chun were immediately shocked by the terrifying air waves and retreated again and again, with a look of horror on their faces. Lord Long Chun. When seeing the Emperor Flame around Long Chun, Di Mengyao was so excited that she couldn't speak. Long Chen's Emperor Flame was a noble purple, mysterious and gorgeous. The purple Emperor Flame even covered the stars in the sky. The sacred dragon might made people worship. How is it possible? He only has more than 700 Emperor Flames. But how can his aura be so strong? The powerful people of the Dark Dragon Clan and the Evil Dragon Clan were horrified. They couldn't believe their eyes. The pressure of more than 700 Emperor Flames actually made them feel frightened and terrified from the depths of their souls. What level of power is this? Ha! Long Chun simply put away the power of the stars. The imperial flames around him were burning wildly and were already somewhat out of control. He had to release them. In a few breaths, he went from more than 500 imperial flames to more than 700 imperial flames. The power increased too much. If it weren't for the strong supreme bone, he would have been completely out of control. It seems that he has used up all the power of the stars. This is his last trump card. His imperial flames are different. The energy contained in each imperial flame is condensed to the extreme. And the sacred power in it is not worse than Di Mengyao. Let's work together to kill him. As long as we kill Long Chen and absorb his and Di Mengyao's imperial flames, we will definitely have the hope of advancing to the top of the imperial flame in one fell swoop. The evil dragon clan leader Long Yu's eyes were full of greed at this time, and he was crazy. From Long Chen's imperial flame, he felt the vast energy fluctuations like the sea. He had never seen such a pure imperial flame. Kill! Long Yu roared. Blood filled the sky. His imperial flame, driven by blood, rose up, almost burning through the sky and earth. Long Yu began to fight desperately, burning his blood and soul, forcibly increasing his strength. In order to get Long Chen's imperial flame, he had completely given up. At that moment, his breath became more violent and fierce, like a mad dragon, killing Long Chen, with flames burning on his claws and fierceness surging. Crazy dragon splits the sky. Long Yu roared, and the vision behind him exploded. The power of the vision was all injected into one claw, and the sky-covering dragon claw grabbed Long Chen fiercely. This attack contained Long Yu's life strength, and he had a posture of dying if he didn't succeed. Kill! At this time, seeing that Long Yu began to fight desperately, other strong men also burned their blood and souls, and their magic weapons were agitated. All their strength was concentrated on the magic weapons. The divine light tore through the void and fell on Long Chen. The situation changed drastically, and everyone fought desperately. They surrounded Long Chen in the middle. At this time, Long Chen had been locked by Long Yu. Others took the opportunity to attack him. Long Chen had to bear everyone's attacks in an instant. Di Mengyao's heart was in her throat. Just a small test, Dragon Blood Imperial Shield. Long Chen's voice was like the whisper of a god, resounding through the heavens and the worlds. Then a shield spread outward with Long Chen as the center. On the shield, purple imperial flames rose. As soon as they appeared, they turned into giant dragons, entwined and intertwined with each other, and instantly covered the entire shield. Boom! The attack that was coming at a speeding speed collided fiercely with the rapidly spreading shield. At that moment, the 9 heavens were annihilated, and all the roads lost their color. After a loud bang, the order and position of the entire world were in chaos. Di Mengyao lost her vision and perception in an instant. Boom! Di Mengyao only felt that the world around her kept shaking. She seemed to be in a torrent of thousands of horses galloping. If it weren't for the protection of the dragon bone evil moon, she would be crushed in an instant. As the flood of the heavens gradually dissipated, the fragmented world in front of Di Mengyao gradually reappeared. Long Chen was seen standing in the void, his clothes fluttering, his long hair flying. The imperial flames and visions around him had completely disappeared, but his eyes were extremely calm, looking coldly ahead. In front of Long Chen, Long Yu was covered in blood. One of his arms had completely disappeared. He gritted his teeth, gasping frantically. Around him, the strong men of the evil dragon clan and the dark dragon clan stood there with ashen faces. Their breaths were rapidly fading. This attack almost exhausted their original power, and they were no longer able to fight. They were unwilling to give up. Whether it was Di Mengyao's imperial flame or Long Chen's imperial flame, to them, they were both supreme treasures. But today they had lost the qualification to compete. Long Chen, don't be complacent. Someone from our evil dragon clan has already condensed the 997th imperial flame. Pray that you don't run into him, otherwise, death will be a luxury for you. Long Yu looked unwilling, and suddenly an ancient talisman appeared in his hand. OM. The talisman was crushed by him, and a divine light enveloped all of them and disappeared in an instant. Boom! However, the moment they disappeared, the space trembled, and their disappeared figures reappeared, and this time they showed fear on their faces. You came back so soon? It seems that you can't bear to leave me. In this case, then you all stay. Long Chen grinned. Long Chen's smile looked both gloomy and evil, especially his teeth, which were like the fangs of a beast, emitting a bloodthirsty light. OM. Long Chen's more than 700 emperor flames that disappeared condensed again, and the sacred dragon might surged. At that moment, the strong men of the evil dragon clan and the dark dragon clan were completely terrified. How is it possible? His emperor flame power has obviously completely decayed and disappeared. How can it be born again? Long Yu roared. He couldn't believe his eyes. Before, Long Chen used the power of more than 700 emperor flames to condense the dragon blood sky shield. This was originally the top magical power of the Purple Blood clan, with infinite mysteries and the ability to defeat the strong with the weak. However, now that the Supreme Bone is here, the power of the three bloods is connected, and the power of the dragon blood can also condense the sky shield. However, the power of the dragon blood is too strong and not tough enough, so it cannot use force to fight force, and there is no room for buffering. Although it blocked the attacks of everyone, the power of the Emperor Flame in Long Chen's dragon blood was also consumed. However, it doesn't matter. The dragon blood Emperor Flame has been completely consumed, but the purple blood Emperor Flame is at its peak. The purple blood Emperor Flame can be converted into the dragon blood Emperor Flame almost without any loss. Then, a scene that shocked everyone appeared. More than 700 imperial flames rose, and the dragon's might was mighty. At this moment, Long Chen was like a dragon god possessed, looking down on the world, making the strong men of the evil dragon clan and the dark dragon clan tremble in their souls. If I had used the purple blood sky shield just now, I would have been able to block their attacks with half of its power. Blindly being strong and fierce is not necessarily a good thing. The combination of hardness and softness is the kingly way. Long Chen realized the shortcomings of the Dragon Blood Emperor Flame through the attack just now. The Dragon Blood Emperor Flame was too strong and overbearing, and it was easy to break if it was hard. Although Long Chen looked calm on the surface, the terrifying recoil made him extremely uncomfortable, and his internal organs were almost displaced. If he used the soft purple blood power, it would rebound part of it and offset part of it, so the force he would bear would be much smaller, and it would also save a lot of energy. The power of Dragon Blood is good at attacking, the power of Purple Blood is good at defense, and the Supreme Blood can attack and defend, but it requires too many skills to control it. In this regard, he is far, far worse than his father. Although Long Chen has made some progress in controlling the Supreme Blood after Long Zhantian's instruction, it is still far from the easiest to control Purple Blood. The power of Dragon Blood is also difficult to control, but it has a characteristic, that is, the attack range is large and does not require such fine control. The magical powers of the Dragon Clan have never pursued details. They pursue powerful destructive power and a very large attack range. If you say that controlling the Supreme Blood is like using a bow and arrow, you need to shoot through the target accurately. And Dragon Blood is like a crater. You only need a general direction. When the volcano erupts, the huge range does not require such accurate aiming. This difference is actually related to the power of origin. The energy contained in the human race cannot be compared with Long Chen's huge body. The human race is more refined than quantity, while the dragon race wins by quantity. What they like most is comprehensive coverage and indiscriminate attacks. When the human race uses the magical powers of the Dragon Clan, there will be a fatal flaw, that is, the reserve of the power of origin is insufficient. Therefore, when the big move just now was released, although the power was amazing, the Imperial Flame was empty. Fortunately, Long Chen still had the Purple Blood as a reserve of Emperor Flame, and he summoned the Dragon Blood Emperor Flame again. In the eyes of everyone's horror, he slowly opened his big hand. Emperor Blood Seal Cross Destroying God! Long Chen shouted, and all the Emperor Flames instantly condensed in his palm. Such a highly condensed force made the void emit a harsh whine, as if it had exceeded the limit of space. Damn! How is this possible? Long Yu screamed in horror. Long Chen had just resisted the attack of everyone, and in an instant he condensed such a devastating attack. Work together to resist. As long as he blocks this attack, he will definitely die. Someone roared, but although his voice was loud, his confidence was obviously insufficient. Obviously, He himself did not believe his own words. However, the moment Long Chun opened his big hand, all of them were locked by the dragon's might. If they did not resist, they would only die. Buzz! A huge cross shot out from Long Chen's hand, like a crosshairs, dividing the world into 4 parts. And the center point was the evil dragon and the strong man of the Nether Dragon clan. Boom! Long Yu and everyone else tried their best, injecting all their blood and soul power into the magic weapon, and together they opened a divine curtain. However, that divine curtain did not have the power of the imperial shield, and was pierced by the cross like a piece of white paper, and the huge cross slashed everyone fiercely. Puff, puff, puff. Everyone's blood spurted wildly and scattered. It must be said that these people were too strong, and such a terrifying attack could not kill them. But they worked together to share Long Chen's attack, and everyone's breath dropped rapidly, and they had completely lost the power to resist. Buzz! A colorful sword appeared in Long Chen's hand. On the sword, the Emperor's flame flowed, and the sharp aura cut through the sky. Who? Long Chen took a step forward. Puff! A head soared into the sky. Puff! Another step was taken and another head was cut off. Hoo. The stars under Long Chen's feet flickered. Every step he took, one person's head must be cut off. The colorful sword, like the sickle of the god of death, ruthlessly harvested their lives. Although she hated these people, Di Mengyao couldn't help but feel a chill as she watched Long Chun kill them one by one with his sword, the pungent smell of blood and the shrill screams filling the air. The Long Chun at this moment was completely different from the Long Chun she usually saw. When harvesting the lives of the strong, Long Chen's eyes were so calm, without any ripples. That calmness was terrifying. Long Chun, you damn human, we have countless peerless strongmen in the Nether Dragon clan, and there are many people who are stronger than Di Mengyao. Just wait. Seeing that he could not escape, a man began to curse. Puff! Blood splattered, and his head flew into the void. His voice was cut off, the Emperor flame disappeared, and the soul fire was extinguished. Puff, puff, puff. Long Chun killed everyone with his sword, as if he was walking in the garden. Except for Long Yu, he killed everyone. Hoo. Black vines stretched out from the void, like the tentacles of a devil, dragging those corpses into the darkness and disappearing, adding a bit of weirdness to the already terrifying atmosphere. Gigi has always been a good helper for Long Chun in cleaning up the battlefield. Based on the principle of returning every grain to the warehouse, almost all the creatures killed by Long Chun were dragged into the chaotic space by it, and even some tiny fragments were not spared. During this period, Long Chun killed countless strong men, and the black soil devoured them crazily. Some of the Emperor flames were dragged into the chaotic space before they could dissipate. Now the atmosphere of the chaotic space is completely different from before entering the battlefield of the sky. Do you want to say something? Long Chun came in front of Long Yu, and inserted the long sword with blood beads on it into the ground in front of Long Yu. Then he took out a chair, sat on it, leaned back lazily, and looked at Long Yu indifferently. Except for Long Yu, everyone was dead. The air was still filled with a strong smell of blood. Even the screams of those people before they died were still echoing in his ears. When Long Chun spoke, Long Yu shuddered violently. His arrogance, violence, and bravery had long disappeared. If before, he might not be afraid of death, because in combat, people's fear of death is not strong. But after exiting the combat state, a person's willpower will instantly fall from the clouds to the ground, and the fear of death and the yearning for life will be 1,000 times stronger than usual. Long Chun sat on the chair, as if sitting on the throne of God, overlooking the 8 wastelands and 6 directions. That posture was like Yama who controlled life and death, which made Long Yu's body tremble involuntarily. He was too weak now. After exhausting all his strength, he could no longer control his body's instincts. At this time, Di Mengyao also came over. Looking at Long Yu, who was kneeling on the ground and trembling all over, She couldn't believe that this was still the leader who was in control of everything. From the arrival of Long Chun to the end of the battle, it was only half an incense stick of time. From being high above to being a prisoner, the gap was too big. Long Chun waved his hand and threw a chair to Di Mengyao, but Di Mengyao shook her head slightly. She felt that if she sat down, it would be a blasphemy to Lord Long Chun. Among the powerful people in the world, there might be someone who could be on par with Long Chun, but this person was definitely not her. It was a great honor to be able to stand beside Long Chun. What do you want to hear? Listen. Long Yu's voice was shaking, and he had begun to stutter. Fear had filled his body and soul. And Long Yu's situation was all within Long Chen's expectations. The reason why he kept Long Yu was not because of how strong he was, but because he was the weakest in his heart. Many people's wildness and tyranny are just to cover up their inner cowardice. Once such people are stripped of their shells, their true nature will be completely revealed. Long Chun has seen too many such people. The core secret of our evil dragon clan is that there is a soul restriction. If I even mention a word, I will die immediately. Long Yu looked at Long Chun, his eyes full of fear and despair. He would die if he said it, and he would die in great pain if he didn't say it. When he thought of those 9 heaven strongmen who had been tortured to death by him, he was even more terrified. Xie Yu, do you have any way? This was more difficult, so Long Chun asked Long Gu Xie Yu for help. Yes. Long Gu Xie Yu said confidently. How do I do it? Long Chun was immediately delighted. Kill him with a knife. Get lost. Long Chun was almost so angry that he couldn't breathe. If he could kill him, why would I ask you for help? Ji. At this time, Ji's voice came into Long Chen's mind. Long Chun was surprised and happy. Ji said that it could try, but it was not completely sure. Long Yu is very powerful, and his status in the evil dragon clan is definitely not low. He must know a lot of secrets, and these secrets are very important to Long Chun. Since you can't tell, I'm sorry. Long Chun looked at Long Yu, sighed, and winked at Di Mengyao. Di Mengyao immediately understood what Long Chun meant, but she didn't leave. Master Long Chun, just do it. Mengyao's tolerance is not that weak. You? What are you going to do? At this time, Long Yu screamed in horror, and he had realized that something was wrong. Boom! Suddenly the ground exploded, and black vines broke out of the ground, instantly binding Long Yu and hanging him in the void. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Vines grew out of Long Yu's back amid his screams, and dozens of vines appeared behind him in a fan shape. These vines grew out of Long Yu's flesh and blood, as if they were part of his body. This was a magical power that Ji had just awakened, called blood-soul parasitism. Puff, puff, puff. Then, black vines sprouted from Long Yu's eyes, nostrils, ears, and mouth. The intense pain made Long Yu struggle constantly, but he could no longer make a sound. Although she had expected it, Di Mengyao still felt a little numb when she saw such a cruel torture. Squeak! At this moment, Ji's voice came, indicating that Long Chun could start. Long Chun pondered for a moment and said, Who is the strongest person in your evil dragon clan? What is his strength? Long Yu, who was firmly controlled, could no longer speak at this time, but he made a strange sound, which was completely distorted and had a strange tone. The strongest person in our evil dragon clan is called Long Nu, and he has condensed 998 imperial flames. 998 imperial flames. Hearing this news, Di Mengyao was completely shocked. Although she looked a little weak, she was extremely confident in her talent for cultivation. Although she was not the strongest, her cultivation speed was definitely the fastest. But she was completely shocked when she heard that someone from the evil dragon clan had already condensed 998 imperial flames. Buzz! At this moment, a vine behind Long Yu kept trembling, and endless curse runes condensed on it. Oh no, it's the power of the curse. His soul restriction is actually a curse. Long Chun was shocked. The evil dragon clan was so vicious that they actually cursed their own people. Once this curse broke out, the power would be unimaginable. Puff! A vine burst with a squeak, and with it burst those curse runes. The power of the curse did not spread, but was resolved by Gigi. However, to resolve such a curse, Gigi also had to pay a certain price, but fortunately this price was within its tolerance range. Seeing that Gigi was fine, Long Chun was immediately relieved, and at the same time he felt that Gigi was really a great treasure he had picked up. 998 Imperial Flames. Then the strength of this Long Nu will be beyond imagination. Di Mengyao took a deep breath and said, trying to calm herself down. Long Chun nodded. Qing Yi had said before that the last 3 Emperor Flames were ascending to the sky with one step. This ascending to the sky refers to the difficulty of condensing, and also refers to the difference in strength. If Long Chun does not open the Stargate, Di Mengyao, who has 996 Emperor Flames, her origin power will far exceed the sum of all Long Chun's strength. Can be seen from this that Long Nu's strength is absolutely terrifying, and he is only one step away from the extreme state, which is a bit scary. Where is he now? Long Chun asked. He is at the Sky Ridge, receiving the inheritance of the 10,000 ancestors. Long Yu responded. Sky Ridge? Is it the giant ridge that divides the Sky Realm battlefield into 2? Long Chun was shocked and hurriedly took out the map given to him by the Shadow Demon Bat Clan. When he saw those 3 words, Long Chun couldn't help but feel his heart tremble. Tianji Ridge is the most dangerous place in the Tianyu battlefield. Too many lives have been killed in the battle. The resentment condensed and gathered strange creatures. These creatures include monsters, fierce demons, and invisible and intangible souls. The Shadow Demon Bats have been exploring this area for countless years, but those strange creatures are too terrifying. They sacrificed countless strong men and could only wander around the periphery. The Shadow Demon Bats recorded that the strange creatures in this area have no intelligence, only combat consciousness. Once they are discovered, it will be a battle to the death. Moreover, it is said that there is an extremely terrifying existence in the depths of Tianji Ridge. Although the laws in the Tianyu battlefield cannot nourish a true God Emperor, the terrifying existence inside should be infinitely close to the God Emperor realm. However, all of these are speculations of the Shadow Demon Bats. Tianji Ridge is listed as the most dangerous place by the Shadow Demon Bats. Because the exploration here cost too much, but almost nothing valuable was obtained, the Shadow Demon Bats no longer explored this area. Now, Long Yu mentioned the Sky Ridge, which surprised Long Chun. The Evil Dragon Clan was actually able to explore this area? Have you already controlled the Sky Ridge? Long Chun asked in a deep voice. Long Yu answered woodenly. There are countless evil spirits in the Sky Ridge, and no one can control it. Lord Long Nu used the Divine Emperor's magic weapon inherited from our clan to kill countless evil spirits. Find the place where the ancestors of our evil dragon clan fell collectively, open the blessing of the ancestors, and help the top strong men of our evil dragon clan to condense the Emperor Flame. Through Long Nu's narration, Long Chun finally understood that the evil dragon clan was not a name from the Nine Heavens world, but there was indeed such a race. They are evil by nature, proud of evil, and fierce. The evil dragon clan never talks about reason, only about strength, simple and rough. The evil dragon clan is a powerful branch of the outer dragon clan. The outer dragon clan also has the evil dragon clan and the mad dragon clan, which are known as the 3 leaders of the outer dragon clan and command all the dragons outside the domain. However, among the 3 major dragon clans, the mad dragon clan is the real leader and the most powerful, followed by the evil dragon clan, and the evil dragon clan is at the end. However, of the 3 major dragon clans outside the domain, only the evil dragon clan entered the Tianyu battlefield, and the other 2 clans did not come in. As for the specific reason, Long Yu did not know. Obviously, although he was strong, he was not a real core powerhouse, and he could not know more secrets. And this time, the evil dragon clan can be said to have come out in full force. 3 million young powerhouses of the evil dragon clan all poured into the Tianyu battlefield. After they entered the Tianyu battlefield, they had a clear goal and rushed straight to Tianji Ridge, the place where the ancestors of the evil dragon clan fell. According to Long Yu's story, They fought an unprecedented battle with the evil spirits there. More than 3 million powerhouses were completely lost, and they broke through a passage and entered the Fallen Land. After entering the Fallen Land, everyone received blessings. Long Yu also stood out from the blessings of many ancestors there, and directly increased from more than 300 imperial flames to more than 900 imperial flames. However, his speed of improvement was fast, but his stamina was insufficient. After reaching the 987th Emperor Flame, he could no longer condense the Emperor Flame under the blessing. So he was sent out to find new opportunities and hunt more Dragon Clan Masters to seize their luck. Unfortunately, the millions of Dragon Clan Masters that had been opened in the previous Heavenly Domain battlefields, and even up to tens of millions at most, have become so rare, which made them shocked and angry. Hunting the 9 Heavens Dragon Clan Masters and seizing their luck to help them condense the Emperor Flame is the fastest way for them to improve themselves. But this time, they want to find the 9 Heavens Dragon Clan Masters, which is as difficult as finding a needle in a haystack. Long Yu had been wandering for such a long time, and he only encountered a dozen Dragon Clan Masters, and they were not very powerful and could not absorb much Dragon Clan luck. Later, he met Di Mengyao, and thought he could eat a big piece of fat meat this time, but he ended up losing his life. Lord Long Chun, you actually knew that this group of evil dragons would devour our Dragon Clan's luck. You are really a god. Hearing this, Di Mengyao admired Long Chun with all his heart. At the beginning, Long Chun proposed to allow only 100,000 elites from the Tianlong Luo realm to enter the Tianlong battlefield, which was opposed by almost the entire Dragon Clan. Now it seems that Long Chun is really far-sighted and simply amazing. Being looked at by Di Mengyao with admiration, Long Chun was a little embarrassed. He only brought the elite dragons at the beginning, just because he didn't want the dragons to have too many casualties. In addition, only the elites can gather together and form real combat power. As for those with average strength and talent, they will only die if they come in, and Long Chun dares to predict that in the later stage, if you want to obtain treasures, you must rely on strength. Because even if you are lucky enough to get the treasure, you will still be killed if you don't have the strength. Long Chun never thought that these dragons from outside the domain could actually seize the luck of the 9 Heavens Dragon Clan to help him condense the Emperor Flame. At the same time, through Long Yu's words, Long Chun finally understood why killing the strong men of the evil Dragon Clan would bring so much less benefits. It feels like their luck power was taken away from the 9 Heavens strong men. No wonder there is not much energy in their Emperor Flame power. In this way, everything can be explained. Long Chun asked about the internal strength of the evil Dragon Clan. Long Yu's words immediately made Di Mengyao pale. When Long Yu left Tianji Ridge, Long One was condensing the 997th Emperor Flame, and it had basically taken shape. According to the time calculation, it has been completed now. There are 2 strong men with 996 Emperor Flames, and there are 18 strong men with more than 990 Emperor Flames. There are more than 300 strong men above 980 Emperor Flames, and Long Yu is one of them. As for the strong men below 980 Emperor Flames, Long Yu did not count them, and there was no way to count them. He was the first batch of strong men sent out. He only remembered the situation at that time. As for whether there were rising stars later, he didn't know. What a terrifying strength! Such a powerful tribe is actually the weakest of the 3 major forces of the extraterritorial dragon tribe. Di Mengyao couldn't help but take a breath. If Long Yu was not completely controlled and couldn't lie, Di Mengyao would never dare to believe his words. This is really amazing. In addition to the so-called Lord Long Nu, there are actually 2 strong men with the same strength as Di Mengyao, which makes Di Mengyao suddenly feel a deep sense of powerlessness. The talent she is proud of seems to be nothing in front of the evil Dragon Clan. Boom! Suddenly, another vine exploded behind Long Yu. Most of Long Yu's curse power was borne by Zhizhi, but there was still a part that could only be borne by Long Yu himself. After asking so many questions, Long Yu finally couldn't hold on any longer. His body began to rot, and the curse runes began to spread rapidly. Zhizhi hurriedly threw him away. Master Long Chun, what should we do now? Di Mengyao asked. Boom boom. At this moment, the void roared, and a group of figures rushed over like lightning. Master Long Chun, Master Meng Yao, let's go. A loud shout came, and Xuetu came whistling with a spear in his right hand and 2 heads in his left hand. Behind Xuetu were densely packed Dragon Clan warriors, more than 10,000 people, including Qing Yi, Hai Mingkong and other warriors. Some of these Tianlong Fai warriors had been fighting fiercely in the periphery. Later, with the arrival of Long Chun, Xuetu violently killed the enemy and supported others with Qing Yi. After clearing the periphery, they immediately gathered the team and killed them. Before coming, they were worried that Long Chun and Di Mengyao could not hold on. Xuetu started to roar from a distance, in order to give the 2 people confidence and let them hold on. However, when they approached the battlefield, they found that the fighting here had subsided, and their hearts were in their throats. However, when they saw that Long Chun and Di Mengyao were safe and sound, Qing Yi couldn't help crying with joy. The most terrible scene did not appear. Long Chun and Di Mengyao are the future of the Dragon Clan. She would rather die thousands of times than let them suffer any harm. Boss! Xuetu was overjoyed to see that Long Chun was safe. He was the only one in the entire dragon domain who called Long Chun boss. At first, he thought that calling him that was the greatest affirmation of Long Chun. Especially later, when he learned that all the Dragon Blood Legion called Long Chun boss, he was more determined to continue this title. Perhaps in the eyes of Di Mengyao, Qing Yi and others, the title of boss was too rude and not up to the standard. But for a bloody person, this title was the ultimate affirmation. Not bad. Long Chun looked at the 2 heads in Xuetu's hand and nodded. This Xuetu was really fierce. It was not easy for him to defeat the 2 in a seriously injured state, and it was even more impressive to be able to kill the 2. Xuetu was a natural battle maniac, with strong strength and a rare brave general. Hearing Long Chun's praise, Xuetu was immediately overjoyed. Fortunately, there was no tail behind his butt, otherwise it would be shaking to the sky. Seeing that Xuetu, who was not convinced by anyone, could be so excited by Long Chun's words, Di Mengyao and others couldn't help but laugh. This guy was an outlier among the crowd. From ancient times to the present, he had never been convinced by anyone, which caused a lot of headaches for the dragon domain. But in front of Long Chun, this guy was simply obedient and had no temper at all. Boss, Sister Mengyao, are you okay? Where are those guys? Have they escaped? Xuetu held the spear and looked around. The terrifying ripples between heaven and earth were still there, but the enemies had all disappeared. However, what made him feel weird was that the corpse was invisible, and even the blood could not be smelled. What he didn't know was that the stronger Gigi was, the better he knew how to live. Not only did he take away the fragments of the corpse, he also didn't let go of the blood between heaven and earth, and sucked it clean. After all, he was a super strong man, and the scattered blood had powerful energy, so Gigi naturally couldn't waste it. They have all been killed by Lord Long Chun. Di Mengyao smiled at Xuetu, who was looking around. What? Xuetu and the others were shocked. If this had not been said by Di Mengyao, he would not have believed it at all. Before, he had attacked the battlefield here and knew that the strong men here were all top monsters. He might not be able to beat any one of them alone, let alone Long Yu. Boss, you are too brave. When are you free to teach me? I also want to be as brave as you, Xuetu said excitedly. He had previously sounded out the Dragon Blood Corps and wanted to join the Dragon Blood Corps, but was told that the Dragon Blood Corps would not accept any more people, which made him extremely sad. But even if he could not join the Dragon Blood Corps, it would be good to get guidance from Long Chun, even if it was just the surface. Because he knew that the strong men in the Dragon Blood Corps were all brought up by Long Chun. As long as Long Chun was willing to teach him, his strength would surely advance by leaps and bounds. No problem. I'll teach you a trick later. Long Chun smiled slightly. He still liked Xuetu's personality very much. People without brains were sometimes annoying, but sometimes they still made people feel very kind. Great, thank you, boss. Xuetu shouted excitedly. Since Long Chun promised to teach him, he would definitely teach him. And how high was Long Chun's vision? Ordinary magical powers were not in his eyes at all. Once he was going to teach, it would definitely be the kind of magical power that people could not imagine. Sometimes, being shameless is quite enviable. Hearing that Long Chun was going to teach Xue Tu, Hai Mingkong couldn't help but smile bitterly. Not only Hai Mingkong, but others were also envious. Although everyone didn't see the course of this battle, this result was enough to be deified. Their envy of Xue Tu was almost turning into jealousy. Although being shameless was not a good thing, Xue Tu was so excited at this time that he didn't care at all and kept grinning. Long Chun couldn't help but laugh. There is no strongest magical power on the road of cultivation. The best is the one that suits you. With your talent and wisdom, you will definitely find a cultivation path that suits you. But Xue Tu's brain is not very good. If he relies on himself to understand, I'm afraid he will never find the way in this life. It just so happens that I have something suitable for him. In fact, I have wanted to teach him for a long time, but I just never had the chance. It's not a bad thing to have a bad brain. Otherwise, how can you be qualified to get the boss's guidance? Xue Tu laughed. This guy said it very wisely. After laughing, Long Chin briefly told everyone about the matter of Tianji Ridge. Everyone was shocked that there was an ancestor of the evil dragon clan in Tianji Ridge. Di Mengyao said, Lord Long Chun deduced that there must be ancestors of our dragon clan fighting in Tianji Ridge. Because during the Chaos War, our main opponent was the dragon clan from outside the domain. If they were there, there must be us. The evil dragon clan is accepting the inheritance of their ancestors. Lord Long Chun meant that we must stop them and see if we can find the remains of our dragon ancestors. Boss, no need to say more. Wherever you go, we go. Wherever you point, we fight. Xue Tu shouted. Others also said that they didn't need to know so much. As long as Long Chun said a word, they would follow him even if it was a sea of fire and a mountain of swords. Well, brothers of the Xiaolong clan, please work hard. We will go straight to the place where the evil dragon clan of Tianji Ridge fell and kill them. Long Chen stood up. Boom, boom, boom. Xiaolongs showed their true bodies one after another. They all gave up their promotion and entered the realm of the God Emperor. Their wings cut through the void and roared away with everyone. Xue Tu. On Xiaolong's back, Long Chun called Xue Tu aside and said, I will pass on the Dragon God Body refining technique of Lord Chaos Dragon Emperor to you. After hearing Long Chen's voice transmission, although Xue Tu was prepared, he was still shocked and his eyes widened. He stammered, Lord Chaos Dragon Emperor. Although he was prepared that what Long Chun could bring out was definitely not ordinary, when he heard that it was a legacy from the Chaos Dragon Emperor, Xue Tu was still struck by lightning and couldn't believe his ears. I explored this Dragon God Body refining technique for a long time, wandering on the edge of death countless times before I finally cultivated it. However, my cultivation route is only suitable for myself and cannot be directly passed on to others. But this peerless magical power from the Chaos Dragon Emperor must not be lost in my hands. I once worked hard to study it. Later, with the purple blood and supreme blood in my body, I was inspired. Maybe I found a way to inherit it. However, I am not sure whether this will succeed or not. Fortunately, the improved Dragon God Body refining technique is not as fierce and overbearing as the original version. Even if it fails, it will not cause any damage to you. Long Chun said to Xue Tu, this Dragon God Body refining technique is a peerless magical power. Long Chun, a human race, has become so powerful by absorbing only a few drops of blood essence. It is conceivable how powerful it is. This is definitely a world-shaking magical power. Although the Chaos Dragon Emperor and Long Chun were not in name of master and disciple, they were in fact master and disciple. He had the responsibility to pass on the Dragon God Body refining technique to the Dragon Clan. Boss, I will definitely work hard to learn it, Xue Tu said excitedly. No need to work hard. Whether you can practice depends on your fate and has little to do with talent. You concentrate and calm down. I will pass the Dragon Blood Talisman to you. You just need to let it take root in your body, Long Chun said. After speaking, Long Chun stretched out a finger and tapped the position of the Tanzhong acupoint on Xue Tu's chest. According to the Dragon Clan's ratio, that was exactly where the reverse scale was. Long Chen's fingers glowed, and a purple rune gathered. At the same time, the Emperor's flame rose, pushing the purple rune into Xue Tu's body. Xue Tu's body trembled violently, and he immediately felt a sacred seed entering his reverse scale. After sending the rune, Long Chen's face turned pale. This was a sudden idea of Long Chen. He used the power of dragon blood in his body to gather the origin rune of Dragon God Body refining technique into the origin seed, and used the power of Emperor Flame as a guide to send it into Xue Tu's body. This was a huge consumption for Long Chen. He had just recovered a part of the dragon blood power, but it was consumed in an instant. Boss! Seeing Long Chen's pale face, Xue Tu was shocked. He realized that Long Chen had made a huge sacrifice for this so-called power transmission. Thinking of his previous brainless excitement, he wanted to slap himself twice. If he had known that Long Chen had to sacrifice his own power, he would not have learned it at all. Long Chen stretched out his hand to interrupt Xue Tu, indicating that he was fine, and asked, "Your Emperor Flame power has begun to burn." Because the dragon blood power was consumed too much, Long Chen's perception of the dragon blood power in Xue Tu's body became blurred. Yes, the Emperor Flame began to gather on the rune and completed the handover with the boss's Emperor Flame. "What's next? What do you want me to do?" Xue Tu hurriedly asked. Long Chen had sacrificed so much. If he messed up again, he would never forgive himself, and he suddenly felt a huge pressure. Long Chen said, "This drop of dragon blood seed contains the will of Lord Chaos Dragon Emperor, and also contains a trace of luck and blessing. It is a seed that will take root and sprout in your body. As for what it will grow into in the future, no one knows. No one even knows whether it will succeed. It is like a mirror, reflecting 1,000 people, 1,000 faces. If you can succeed, it means that my method is feasible. If you fail, it means that my previous deduction is wrong. No, the boss will never be wrong. I will definitely succeed." Xue Tu's confidence is greater than Long Chen. Buzz! As he spoke, the Emperor flames around Xue Tu began to rise uncontrollably, and the rune on his chest bloomed with divine light and began to spread to his body. At this moment, Long Chen was also a little nervous. The dragon blood seed was awakened, and it began to adapt to Xue Tu's body. This is the soil on which it will survive in the future. The rune wrapped around the imperial flame and spread to Xue Tu's whole body. Xue Tu followed Long Chen's words and did not dare to move at all, letting it run. Suddenly, his whole body tightened and he clenched his teeth. The severe pain spread throughout his body. The rune was like a sharp blade, piercing his flesh, skin, bones, and even his soul. Buzz! Soon, the endless divine runes retreated and finally condensed at the position of its chest. The rune injected by Long Chen evolved itself and finally formed a brand new rune. The rune was like a blooming flame, emitting a suffocating light. Even Long Chen was frightened by the flame. What's the situation? Is it successful or failed? Long Chen found that there was no breath of the dragon god's body refining in Xue Tu's blood, which meant that the inheritance in this way failed. But the brand new rune has the energy to destroy the world. If it fails, what is this rune? God, dragon, burning, blood. Xue Tu looked at the rune on his chest. His face was full of excitement, and he spit out 4 words. "Is this a magical rune?" Long Chen was shocked. Xue Tu called out its name, which meant that he could activate this rune. However, he was clearly teaching a technique, so how come it became a magical power when it came to Xue Tu? "Boss, you seem to have taught me something extraordinary." Xue Tu was so excited that even his voice trembled. "That was not what I taught. I wanted to teach the dragon god body refining technique." Long Chen was speechless. He thought that if he succeeded, Xue Tu could pass on the dragon god body refining technique in the future, but he condensed a magical rune. "How extraordinary is it?" Long Chen asked. Xue Tu said, "This magical rune just swam in my body, and evolved a set of magical powers in my sea of consciousness. I activated this rune, and my power will explode in an instant. 100 times. 100 times? Longchen almost jumped up. In this world, is there a magical power that can make people burst out with power in an instant? Yes, it is 100 times. In my spiritual space, it has evolved countless times, I can be sure of that. However, this kind of improvement can only last for 3 breaths, and it may take several days to recover after using it. If you force yourself to hold on for more than 3 breaths, it will cause permanent damage to your body and it will be irreparable. Xuetu said excitedly. Hearing the words permanent damage and irreparable, Long Chen's heart skipped a beat. This could be fatal to a reckless man like Xuetu. Once this guy gets excited, how can he remember the time? If he uses it once, this guy will be completely useless. Seeing Long Chen's worried expression, Xuetu hurriedly said, "Don't worry, boss. This divine dragon blood burning technique can only last for 3 breaths at a time. Only a second burn will cause permanent damage. Although I'm stupid, I'm not brainless. I know the ins and outs." Awesome. Long Chun was relieved. Long Chun even wanted to see whether this 100-fold increase in strength was real or fake. He still couldn't believe it. By the way, boss, although my original seed was covered, it didn't disappear, Xuetu suddenly said. Really? Long Chun was immediately surprised and happy. Without waiting for Xuetu to finish, he shouted directly to the distance, "Hai Mingkong! Come here! OM!" Xuetu followed Long Chen's method and pointed his finger at Hai Mingkong's chest, and the seed of the divine rune appeared again. What surprised Long Chen was that the source power of the seed of the divine rune did not decrease at all. However, sending this source seed out was very consuming for the body. After Xuetu sent it out, he was also very depressed. Hai Mingkong also experienced the same situation as Xuetu's day. The Emperor Flame began to burn under the traction of the divine rune, and the power of the rune spread all over his body. After experiencing a painful torment, the rune broke away from its original shape and turned into another rune. Hai Mingkong's rune was actually in the form of a water drop. Soon, Hai Mingkong opened his eyes and excitedly said a name, "Mirror Flower Water Moon." And the moment Hai Mingkong said these 4 words, a ripple appeared around him, as if a drop of water was dripped on the calm water surface, and the ripple made the whole world unreal. It's actually an illusion. Amazing. Long Chun couldn't help but be surprised. Just the name can make people hallucinate. If he can't perform it, even he will probably be pulled into the illusion in an instant. While being shocked, Long Chun couldn't help but fall into deep thought. What on earth is going on? He wants to teach the Dragon God body refining technique. How come it has become a magical power here? This phenomenon is too weird, so weird that it can't be explained. At this time, the voice of Chenkuan Ding came. There's nothing strange. Your Dragon God body refining technique is completely different from the Dragon God body refining technique of the Chaos Dragon Emperor. It was taught to you personally, and it became another version in your hands. When the art reaches the highest realm, it is like this. The great way is speechless, the great art is boundless, and it reflects all things. This result you can't understand. In fact, the Chaos Dragon Emperor may not understand it either. After hearing Chenkuan Ding's explanation, Long Chun immediately fell into deep thought. Could it be that there is something hidden behind the Dragon God body refining technique? After Hai Mingkong awakened the Mirror Flower and Water Moon, he wanted to pass the seed of origin to Qingyi, but Qingyi did not awaken her magical powers. Instead, a lush tree appeared in the vision. As for what the tree represented, Qingyi could not explain it clearly. She only knew that when the Azure Dragon was entangled on the tree, she felt that she had endless power. To be specific, you still need to slowly comprehend it, and then everyone began to spread this seed of origin. However, everyone soon discovered that this seed of origin could only be accepted by strong people with more than 900 Emperor Flames. If you can't reach this strength and the Emperor Flame is insufficient, you can't carry its power, let alone get its recognition. In the end, only Qingyi and the other 12 people were recognized by the seed of origin, and the last person to accept the seed of origin was Di Mengyao. However, to everyone's disappointment, Di Mengyao had no other visions except for a petal-shaped pattern appearing at the center of his eyebrows. Moreover, Di Mengyao himself did not feel anything, and his strength did not improve at all. Lord Long Chun. Di Mengyao was a little sad. Everyone was expecting her to have a wonderful performance. But in the end, she disappointed everyone. Xuetu's talent is violent fighting power, so he got the dragon burning blood. Hai Mingkong's talent is water control, so he got the mirror flower and water moon. Qingyi's talent is strong vitality and auxiliary ability, so she got the vision tree of life. Long Chen said. This was his summary. When everyone heard it, they suddenly realized that the seed of emotion, the origin, was the strongest talent that stimulated them. Mengyao, your strongest talent is cultivation and perception. I can't understand the rune on your forehead, but I guess it should be for wisdom and perception. So it won't bring you obvious changes. Maybe it can only be reflected in cultivation. After Long Chun said this, Di Mengyao felt much more at ease. Long Chun continued. You failed because the condensation of the 997th Emperor Flame was destroyed, but the power of the Emperor Flame has not completely dissipated, and the foundation is still there. You can try to see if you can use the foundation you laid before to condense the Emperor Flame again. Now? Di Mengyao was surprised. Now during the flight, she may encounter attacks from strong people at any time. It is too dangerous to break through at this time. Moreover, without a quiet environment, her success rate will be greatly reduced. She was already frustrated in her heart, and it was a taboo to rush to improve again in cultivation. It doesn't matter. If my guess is correct, you will definitely be able to break through before we enter Tianji Ridge. Long Chen smiled. Of course, if you fail, just ignore what I said. Okay. Seeing Long Chun say this, Di Mingyao's confidence increased greatly. She found a place to sit cross-legged and close her eyes, allowing herself to enter a state of emptiness first. Di Mengyao was about to break through, and someone immediately opened the dragon blood barrier to protect her, and try not to disturb her. Let's protect Master Mengyao together, Qingyi suggested. She believed in Di Mingyao's talent for cultivation, and she believed in Long Chen's vision even more. No need, you should concentrate on comprehending your new magical powers, so that you can use them before reaching Tianji Ridge. Don't rush and make mistakes at that time, that would be fatal. Long Chen said. Everyone nodded. Although they had mastered new magical powers, they still needed a lot of training to apply them on the battlefield. After all, the enemy is not a fool. They will fight back and look for flaws to interrupt your skills. They must have complete control over their skills. Okay. I will go into seclusion to comprehend now. Xuetu shouted very actively. You don't need to comprehend. You stay to protect us. Long Chen said. Ah! Xuetu was stunned. Your magical power is the simplest and most direct. Without any skills, there is nothing to comprehend. You are responsible for the safety of the journey. Long Chen said. With the burning blood of the dragon, even a being like Long Yu could not withstand the attack of Xue Tuesday. With his protection, there would be absolutely no problem with safety. Boss, it seems that you are also going to retreat? Xue Tu finally reacted. Long Chen nodded. He was indeed going to retreat. With more than 700 Emperor Flames, he might try to condense the seventh gate, the Death Gate. The Death Gate, as its name suggests, is like the Gate of Death. Long Chen tried it before, but he couldn't even open the door. The breath overflowing from the crack of the door made his soul tremble and smell the breath of death. The 9-star Hegemon body art has been staying at the 6th gate for too long. It is time to impact the 7th gate. If he can successfully open the 7th gate, his strength will step onto a whole new height. Don't worry, boss. You can just go into seclusion without any worries. Xue Tu, guarantee with my life that I will never let anyone disturb you. Xue Tu patted his chest and said seriously. Long Chen nodded, found a place, sat cross-legged, and slowly closed his eyes. The 7th gate. Here I come. In the Starsea world inside Long Chen's body, 6 star gates were fully opened. while the seventh stargate was half open and half closed, flickering. This was the seventh of the 8 gates, the Death Gate. Long Chen knew too little about these 8 stargates. He only figured out the order in which the 8 gates were opened, but he didn't know why they were opened in this order. The 7th gate was not fully opened, but half opened and kept flickering. Long Chen was controlling the injection of the power of the stargate. Even with his current strength, facing the 7th gate was still like facing the abyss, treading on thin ice, and he dared not be careless. Fortunately, the awakening of the Supreme Bone and the condensation of the Emperor Flame allowed Long Chen's power to leap forward in quality, and his physical body became even stronger than ever before. In the past, just opening a gap could make Long Chen shudder, but now he can bear it. However, the 7th gate was half opened, which was the limit of what Long Chen could bear. Fortunately, Long Chen now had a certain control over the 7th gate, so he could slowly adapt to the power of the 7th gate. However, after the 7th gate was half opened, if it was opened a little more, the impact of the stars would be several times greater. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The light of the stars flashed around Long Chen, and soon, the stars were infected by his blood. Long Chen's skin began to crack and blood spilled. The strong men who were protecting Long Chen were all shocked when they saw this scene. Long Chen opened the star gate in his body, and his breath did not leak out. Everyone did not know what happened in Long Chen's body. When they saw this scene, everyone suddenly became nervous. However, they did not dare to help, for fear that the more they helped, the more trouble they could make. They could only watch quietly and let the divine winged owl dragon fly more steadily, trying not to disturb Long Chen. Fortunately, Long Chen's condition did not deteriorate, but remained in this state. Everything was under his control. The 7th gate was also slowly opening and moving towards full opening. Time passed little by little, and 3 days passed quickly. Qingyi was the first to wake up from her retreat, and her eyes were full of surprise. Not only did she have a certain understanding of the vision of the mysterious giant tree, but with the help of the mysterious giant tree, she refined the Qinglongzu into her lifelong magic weapon. She looked at Long Chen for the first time and found that Long Chen had no changes in his aura except for the blood mist around his body. When she looked at Di Mengyao, she was surprised and happy, only to see that Di Mengyao really condensed 997 Emperor Flames. Although the Emperor Flame was as weak as a candle flame and seemed to be extinguished at any time, it did appear. In fact, all the Dragon Clan masters were extremely excited at this time. Di Mengyao condensed 997 Emperor Flames, which was only 2 steps away from the legendary Extreme Realm. This newly condensed Emperor Flame will become stronger and stronger with the passage of time, and the realm will soon be consolidated. Nothing happened during this period of time, right? Qingyi asked. There were a few blind guys who tried to test us, but they were all killed one by Lord Xue Tuesday, someone said excitedly. Along the way, they encountered several out-of-region strongmen with more than 900 imperial flames. They attacked everyone and wanted to test the strength of this side. A strong man with 900 imperial flames should be considered a very powerful existence. Even if they can't beat him, they can just leave. Moreover, except for Xue Tu, all the strong men with more than 900 imperial flames are in seclusion and restrain their breath. After Xue Tu learned the burning blood of the dragon, his imperial flames inexplicably began to awaken themselves, and now he has 926 imperial flames. Those testers sensed the existence of Xue Tu, but they didn't take it to heart. They were all strong men of the same level, and he had to take care of the team, so they attacked recklessly. As a result, this move cost him his life. Xue Tu's first move was the most fierce and decisive. He was almost invincible in the same level, and he was fearless. Killing a strong man with the same level of Emperor Flame was like playing. Among the testers, the strongest one had only 967 Emperor Flames. Unfortunately, under Xue Tu's violent attack, he was killed in a few moves. The Dragon Clan strongmen were excited and thought that Xue Tu was going to use the magical power he had just awakened, but they didn't expect that the strong man was not qualified to let Xue Tu use the Divine Dragon Burning Blood technique. This made a group of Dragon Clan strongmen secretly scold, but Shwetu was ecstatic. He found that after awakening the divine dragon burning blood, his perception became extremely clear, and he accurately predicted the enemy's moves several times. The feeling of having everything under control made him shout with excitement. He thought that this must be because Long Chun passed on some of his combat experience to him when he taught him the dragon god body refining technique. After all, he was the first to come into contact with the origin divine talisman, which must be different from others, so it was normal to have a special treatment. In fact, although Shwetu had no brains, his guess was not wrong this time. Long Chen's origin dragon blood contained his own combat imprints. The state of Long Chen fighting with the dragon blood would be copied by it. After Shwetu absorbed it, some of these combat imprints were also imprinted in his body. Because this guy trusted Long Chen extremely, he did not resist at all when he was imprinted, so he absorbed some combat experience. Unfortunately, if he was smart enough and could perceive it with all his heart and soul when imprinting, he would absorb more combat experience from Long Chen. No, Long Chen's combat experience was exchanged for life and blood. How precious is it? If Shwetu knew that he could get more, he would be so angry that his thigh would slap. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, there was a loud explosion in front. Divine light shot up into the sky, and terrifying ripples erupted from time to time in the void. Obviously, there was a fierce battle in front. Let's go around, Qingyi said when she saw this. Now everyone was in seclusion, and Lord Long Chun and Lord Mengyao were at a critical moment, so they couldn't be disturbed. When the divine winged owl dragon heard Qingyi's voice, it was about to slow down and go around, but Shwetu shouted loudly, "Don't go around, just rush straight over. We must rush to Tianji Ridge as fast as possible. This is what the boss told us." But Qingyi was a little worried, fearing that a strong man would disturb Long Chun and Di Mengyao. "Don't worry. I have received the boss's true teachings. I can handle it." Shwetu patted his chest and said with high spirits. Seeing Shwetu's insistence, Qingyi could only give up. She knew that Shwetu was very arrogant now, and he would not listen to her words at ordinary times, let alone at this time. Boom, boom. Soon everyone rushed into the battlefield ahead. Before they could see who was fighting, a sharp sword energy slashed at everyone, followed by a loud shout that resounded through the world. "The Ling Tian lineage is here. Everyone irrelevant. Get out." The voice was arrogant and tough, and the words came almost at the same time as the sword energy, which made Shwetu furious. He had never been out of the Tianlonglo realm, and he didn't know the situation outside, let alone what the Ling Tian lineage was. But no matter where you came from, this is too arrogant, right? The Tianyu battlefield is your yard? A warning is not enough and you are directly attacking. Looking for death. Shwetu's anger rose all of a sudden, and he waved his big hand and punched out, and the fist shadow whistled. Bang! The sword energy was shattered by his punch, but Shwetu was slightly shocked in his heart. This sharp sword energy actually made his fist numb slightly. The strength of the person who attacked was extraordinary. Qingyi's face changed. Just when she was about to persuade Shwetu not to cause trouble, business was more important. But a series of sharp auras rose from the opposite side and actually rushed straight to this side to kill. Obviously, Shwetu's actions had angered the other party. So it's the Dragon Clan. Your Dragon Clan has long been in decline. Get out of here if you know what's good for you. Otherwise, don't blame us for slaying the dragon. A dozen strong men appeared in front of them. The leader had long hair and a thin body. He carried a colorful long sword on his back. He was a strong man with 930 imperial flames. The rest of them, although not as strong as him, all had more than 900 imperial flames. They all had sharp auras, like swords out of their sheaths, and their eyes were like lightning, as if they could penetrate people's souls. Sword cultivators have always been known for their offensive power. Among the same level, few people can take advantage of sword cultivators. When ordinary people encounter sword cultivators, they usually take a detour. Especially when there are many sword cultivators gathered together, they have to avoid their sharp edges. Qingyi wanted to persuade Shwetu, But as soon as the other party opened his mouth, he was aggressive, pointing out that the dragon clan was in decline, and even mentioned the word, slaying the dragon. Even Qingyi, who had a good temper, couldn't help but get angry, not to mention the violent Xuetu. Fuck you. Xuetu was so angry that his hair exploded. When did the dragon race not fall to the point of being ordered around like a fly? Xuetu roared, and the imperial flames burst out. He took a step forward and instantly appeared in front of the group of sword cultivators. Blood Dragon Fist. Xuetu punched hard, and the imperial flames flickered. The blood-colored light covered the sky. The power of the punch broke the sky and the earth, covering everyone in front of him. Looking for death. Seeing that so many of them had arrived, the other party dared to attack. They roared and swung their long swords at the same time, and sword energy shot out. With a loud bang. More than a dozen sword energies were exploded by Xuetu's punch. The dozen strong men groaned at the same time and were blown away. The faces of these dozen people suddenly changed. Xuetu's power was violent and condensed. Their sword energy seemed to be slashing on an iron ball, and they couldn't cut it at all. They were almost vomiting blood by the recoil force. Xuetu's strength was beyond their imagination. Xuetu punched everyone away and shouted coldly, "I have something to do and I need to hurry. Don't block my way." Xuetu didn't want to get involved with this group of people. He also saw that this group of people was not easy to mess with. Although he was not afraid, he was afraid of disturbing Longchen and others. "Since you want to die, we of the Lingtian lineage will grant your wish." The strong men of the Lingtian lineage shouted angrily and suddenly dispersed. Sword shadows flashed. Some people killed Xuetu, while others killed the divine winged owl dragon behind Xuetu. Looking for death. Xuetu asked them to stop blocking the way. According to his temper, this was the biggest concession. However, the other party not only did not appreciate it, but also attacked the people behind him. At that moment he was instantly furious. Blood Dragon Kill. Xuetu's eyes instantly turned blood red, and his hands grabbed at the void fiercely, and the space trembled suddenly. Swish! The void cracked like paper, and the two strong men of the Lingtian lineage on the crack instantly exploded into blood mist. However, the others were forced to retreat because of the disorder in space. At this time, Xuetu's long hair was flying, his eyes were red, and he had entered a state of madness. "Since you are looking for death, I will fulfill your wish." Xuetu's voice was full of murderous intent, and the whole person was like a crazy demon. Puff! Xuetu dodged, and a strong man from the Lingtian lineage was smashed to pieces by his punch, including his weapon and body. Xuetu's speed was extremely fast, so fast that even the keen perception of sword cultivators could not catch up. Once Xuetu exploded, he would lose his mind, and there was only a monstrous murderous intent in his head. He would never stop until he killed the opponent. Kill! Xuetu's voice came out from between his teeth. At that moment, he rushed towards a person as if he had a blood feud with the opponent. Buzz! The man had a look of horror on his face, holding a long sword and slashing at Xuetu's head, while he retreated backwards, intending to avoid his sharp edge before making plans. However, what he didn't expect was that his sword, which could have forced anyone back, was ineffective in front of Xuetu. Bang! His sword directly slashed on Xuetu's forehead, but Xuetu's forehead was like steel, and the long sword could not penetrate any deeper after half an inch. The most terrifying thing was that his long sword was stuck in Xuetu's skull and could not be pulled out. Puff! Just as the man was terrified, Xuetu's claws had already pierced into his chest, and he tore it apart with his hands. Blood flowed on Xuetu's forehead, covering half of his head in an instant, and with his scarlet eyes, it was even more terrifying. But Xuetu didn't seem to feel much pain at this time, and he didn't even take the long sword on his head, and just killed other strong men with the long sword. The other strong men of Lingtian sword sect, where have they seen such a terrifying scene in their lives? They have never seen such a cruel person, and they fled in fear. Puff! As a result, an unlucky guy was a little slower, and was caught by Shui-Tu and crushed. At that moment, not only the strong men of Lingtian lineage, but even the strong men of the Dragon Clan could not help but feel a tingling sensation on their scalps. No wonder the strong men who ranked ahead of Shui-Tu were very afraid to fight him. Once this guy went crazy, he was too scary. A madman of the Dragon Clan dared to be so presumptuous in front of my Lingtian lineage. Die. Suddenly, a shout came from a distance, followed by a sword energy rushing down from the sky, cutting the void in half and heading straight for Shui-Tu. This sword cut off the vitality of heaven and earth, suppressed the myriad ways of the heavens, and the fierce breath of death instantly enveloped everyone. Ha! At this moment, Long Chun was disturbed, slowly opened his eyes, and woke up from his retreat. At this time, the other people who were in retreat also showed signs of waking up. Long Chun waved his hand, and the starlight enveloped them, isolating the sword intent and allowing them to continue retreating. Let's fight, Long Chun said to Shui-Tu in front of him. Hearing Long Chen's voice, Shui-Tu opened his mouth in a rage, full of a ferocious smile, and roared to the sky. The blood of the dragon is burning. Boom! Blood 2's body burst into blood-colored flames and soared into the sky. Even Long Chun felt a palpitating breath rising. The moment the flame light column pierced the sky, the sword that split the sky and split the earth was directly shattered. Boom, boom! The breath of blood slaughter bloomed wildly, crushing the sky. If the huge body of the divine winged owl dragon was hit by the breath, it would be crushed instantly. This power is terrifying. Even when Emperor Mengyao was in his prime, he could not burst out such a terrifying power. The divine winged owl dragon instinctively wanted to retreat. The blood-colored petals fluttered, forming a huge barrier to protect everyone. At the critical moment, Dragon Bone Evil Moon had to be reliable. The terrifying breath could crush the sky, but it could not shake its barrier. Boom, boom! The breath of blood slaughter bloomed wildly, and the whole world was shaking. Those Lingtian lineage masters who fought fiercely with blood slaughter were directly swallowed by the rolling air waves and crushed into powder in an instant. Across the barrier, seeing the laws of the avenue being distorted and the fragments of time and space flying, the Dragon Clan masters were all stunned. It's really 100 times the power. Long Chun looked at this horrifying scene and was also shocked. What kind of inheritance did this guy Shui-Tu get? Normal people can't bear this kind of power at all. Not to mention 3 breaths, even if it takes a blink of an eye, he will be crushed. Long Chun saw Shui-Tu's chest glowing, and the mysterious rune began to burn. The flames spread to his whole body, protecting him, as if to buffer the terrifying power for him. Blood Dragon Grip! Shui-Tu roared, and a sky-covering dragon claw appeared, crushing the void in front of him. At the moment the void exploded, a crack appeared, and a man holding a long sword flew out of the crack. Puff! The man holding the long sword spurted out a mouthful of blood. Although he escaped from Shui-Tu's attack range at the critical moment, he also paid a huge price. The man holding the long sword, his whole body was burning with imperial flames, and his aura was as sharp as a knife. When they saw the number of his imperial flames, everyone's hearts tightened. There was actually an existence with 995 imperial flames. With such a number of swordsmen, it was no wonder that he could inspire a sword that destroyed the world. Dare to challenge my Lingtian lineage. You will all die today. The strong man of Lingtian lineage escaped death and was shocked and angry. He had never taken everyone seriously before, thinking that one sword would be enough to kill everyone. But he didn't expect that Shui-Tu's secret method would burst out with such a terrifying power. However, facing the violent Shui-Tu, he shouted angrily, and the imperial flames all over his body trembled, rushing into the long sword frantically. He turned around and swung the long sword horizontally. Buzz! A crescent shot out and instantly enlarged, and the piercing sonic boom cut through the sky. This sword contained his lifelong cultivation and sword will. He not only wanted to kill Xuetu with this sword, but also intended to kill everyone. The full-strength attack of the sword cultivator is almost invincible among the same level, so this sword, the man left no room for maneuver. What a big-tone blood dragon breaking sky spear! Xuetu was in a violent state. The man's powerful strength and arrogant tone completely stimulated him. The rolling air waves around him instantly shrank and all poured into the long spear. Boom! The gun shadow collided with the sword energy, and the whole world was shattered. The void seemed to be beaten like thin ice, and the space fragments flew like sharp blades. Fortunately, the barrier of Longushewe was strong enough. The space fragments were actually space blades, and each piece was enough to kill 900 Emperor flames. Boom, boom! In the sky full of flying space fragments, Xuetu was like a demon possessed, shuttling through the twisted void, and rushed straight to the strong man of Lingtian lineage. The strong man of Lingtian lineage was horrified. He didn't expect that his full-strength attack would be broken like this. Buzz! Suddenly, his eyebrows glowed, and the sacred power trembled. The extinguished Emperor Flame was rekindled, and the rekindled Emperor Flame was more fierce, more terrifying, and accompanied by a sacred aura. This is... Qingyi and others were shocked. This is the power of faith. Ling Tian's lineage follows the divine way of inheritance. This person used the power of faith to rekindle the imperial flame, and his aura is stronger than before. No, this power of faith is extremely crude. It should be that his strength has increased too quickly, and the power of faith is not completely matched with his strength. Although his aura is strong, it does not improve his combat power much. Xuetu can handle it. Long Chen explained. Boom! At this moment, a loud bang was heard, and the strong man of Ling Tian's lineage was shot away by Xuetu, and blood spurted wildly. Sure enough, it was in line with Long Chen's previous inference. Although the man's aura was scary, his strength did not increase significantly, and he was still not Xuetu's opponent. Roar! Xuetu roared to the sky, blood filled the sky, and in the vision behind him, a blood-colored dragon came out bathed in flames, and its huge eyes, like two suns, illuminated the world. The fierce murderous intent instantly locked onto the strong man of Ling Tian's lineage. At that moment, the strong man of Ling Tian's lineage had a look of horror on his face. As soon as Xuetu's blood dragon vision appeared, he was horrified to find that he could not move, and the space was imprisoned by the terrifying power. At this time, Xuetu, with bloodshot eyes, stabbed down with the dragon spear in his hand. At this time, the strong man of Ling Tian's lineage became a fixed target. Brother Fan, save me! The strong man of Ling Tian's lineage, who was unable to move after being locked, screamed in fear when he saw Xuetu stabbing with his spear. Dang! Suddenly a flash of light appeared like lightning, and it hit Xuetu's spear heavily. Sparks flew, and the sword sounded like a dragon's roar. Xuetu suddenly felt a huge force coming, and the spear was unstable and was chopped off by a sword. What? Qingyi and others were shocked. Xuetu crushed the strong man with an invincible posture, but a more terrifying existence came out. It was a man in white clothes with a cold face. Looking at the imperial flames around him, there were 996, and only one more imperial flame, but his aura was completely different from the previous man. Let's kill them together. Don't delay the important matter. The strong man called Brother Fan shouted, took a step forward, and the sword energy was like 1,000 flying rainbows, and he rushed towards Xuetu. The man who was frustrated by Xuetu looked at the Dragon Clan strongman with a ferocious face, and gritted his teeth and said, "The fallen Dragon Clan dares to provoke the great Ling Tian sword god. You all go to hell. Ha!" The man took a step forward, and the sharp sword intent tore through the void, and the whole person seemed to teleport to the front of the Dragon Bone Evil Moon's barrier. However, just as he was accumulating power in the sword and preparing to break the barrier turned into endless petals flying, directly making way for him. When the petals scattered all over the sky, he saw a man in a black robe with a cold face standing in front of him. When he saw the man's face clearly, his pupils shrank suddenly. At this time, he had just completed 70% of his power accumulation, and he didn't care about charging it up, and he was about to chop it down with his sword. Pa! Unfortunately, before he could chop out the sword, a big hand slapped him in the face fiercely. With a crisp and loud sound, the man rolled all the way and flew out. Amidst the flying petals, Long Chun stood in the air, looking at the man coldly, and said indifferently, "Does the Ling Tian lineage have no other skills besides bragging? This strength is indeed very strong, and the sword energy is indeed sharp enough, but compared with Yu Zifeng, it is simply a world away. Apart from other things, the perception of sword cultivators is invincible, and they are the nemesis of assassins, because in the Nine Heavens world, no one is stupid enough to assassinate swordsmen. But this guy, who has 995 imperial flames, can't even sense the existence of Di Mengyao, who is about to break through 997 imperial flames, and can't even sense his threat. This can only mean that although he is powerful, his sense of danger is extremely dull, and he can only be regarded as a second-rate swordsman at most." Long Chun. Long Chun made a move, and the strong man of the Ling Tian lineage immediately recognized Long Chen's identity. "Damn you, you have provoked my Ling Tian lineage several times, and even killed my Ling Tian lineage masters in the Tianyuan world. Today, you all have to die." The man's face exploded, blood flowed, and he roared ferociously. "Buzz!" The man shook the long sword in his hand. The imperial flames soared into the sky. The divine light shot out, and a sword energy slashed at Long Chun in the air. However, facing this sword energy, Long Chun did not dodge or avoid it, and the starlight flowed around him, and the starry sky battle suit was added. Bang! In the horrified eyes of everyone, this sword energy containing divine power slashed on Long Chen's body and exploded. But Long Chun was as stable as a rock and was not hurt at all. The sword energy of the Ling Tian lineage is far less powerful than your tone. Long Chun flicked the starry sky battle suit with his big hand, as if flicking off the dust on his body, with endless contempt and disdain in his tone. At the same time, he also sighed in his heart that although the seventh gate has not been fully opened, the defense of the starry sky battle suit has reached an unprecedented height. This is still Long Chen's most original starry sky battle suit, not the one in the starry sky battle suit. Even though the starry sky battle suit is so strong, Long Chun still dares not try to wear it. Boom! At this moment, there was a loud explosion in the distance, and Xue Tu's figure flew backwards. His breath dropped rapidly, as if he had fallen from the altar to the mortal world. No way! Can't it last for 3 breaths? This is only half at most. Qing Yi's face changed drastically. What's going on? Dare to blaspheme the great Ling Tian lineage? Take my sword. At this time, the voice of Senior Brother Fan came from the void. The moment Xue Tu's breath began to drop, he could not withstand his sword energy at all, and was directly blown away. He also saw that Xue Tu had only used a secret method to achieve such a terrifying improvement. And such a secret method, once used, will have to pay a price. The higher the strength of the improvement, the greater the price paid. Some people are even either dead or disabled. Therefore, Senior Brother Fan was too lazy to kill Xue Tuesday, seeing that his junior brother was not doing well. He killed him directly. Sky Slash. Senior Brother Fan held the sword formula in his left hand and slashed the long sword in his right hand. This sword gathered his essence, energy, and spirit together. With one sword, all the ways were silent. Obviously, whether in the power of the Emperor's flame or the attainment of the sword, this Senior Brother Fan was more than 1 level higher than that junior brother. Buzz! The sword was like lightning, tearing the world apart, and instantly arrived in front of Long Chun. The sword energy seemed to split the whole world. Boom, boom, boom. Behind Long Chun, the star gates opened one after another until the 7th gate appeared. The gate was half open, but the moment it appeared, the eternal world changed color. And with its appearance, the star flame appeared on Long Chen's star battle suit. Facing senior brother Fan's shocking sword, Long Chen slowly raised his hand and stretched out a finger. On that finger, the starlight gathered crazily, emitting a dazzling divine light. Boom! A finger touched the shocking sword. At that moment, time and space were still for a moment, and the Wanli sword energy stayed in the void, motionless. Bang! Suddenly the sword energy exploded in the void, turning into endless smoke and dust, and the extremely sharp sword intent disintegrated in an instant. One finger collapsed the sky, thousands of laws roared, and all the laws of the heavens had to submit to this finger. The strong man called Brother Fan spurted out a mouthful of blood. But he himself stood still in the void, like a statue, looking at Long Chen with horror. The strong man from the Lingtian lineage was also stunned. As powerful as Brother Fan was, he was no match for Long Chen. The sword that destroyed the world was actually broken by Long Chen's finger. This bastard is too strong, Brother Fan. Let's retreat first. The man shouted, but Brother Fan stood still in the void, motionless. The man was shocked. Is Brother Fan injured? He rushed over and grabbed Brother Fan's shoulder. Bang! The moment he touched Senior Brother Fan's body instantly turned into ashes. What? The man screamed in horror. What he didn't know was that his senior brother Fan had already died the moment the sword energy shattered. His previous sword contained a blow with all his heart and soul, attached with divine power, and entrusted with all his sword will. When the sword energy shattered, his will also shattered. This was not only a contest of strength, but also a contest of will. Unfortunately, this senior brother Fan picked the wrong person. Fighting with Long Chen's will was actually like hitting a rock with an egg. If he didn't fight with the sword will, he might still be defeated but not dead. Unfortunately, he hit Long Chen's strongest field. Senior Brother Fan. The man screamed in horror. He couldn't believe his eyes. Senior Brother Fan, who was simply invincible in his mind, died just like that. He couldn't accept this fact. Puff! Just as he was distracted, Shui-Tu shot back. Seeing that the other party was distracted, he instinctively shot out. What Shui-Tu didn't expect was that this casual shot actually pierced through the man's body. Ah! The strong man of Ling Tian's lineage was awakened by the severe pain, and let out a shocking roar. The long sword in his hand was shining with divine light, and he slashed at Shui-Tu. Shui-Tu withdrew from the state of burning blood of the dragon and was in a weak state. This led to the successful sneak attack, but he was unable to kill the opponent. The opponent's counterattack instantly forced Shui-Tu into a desperate situation. At this time, he could never catch this sword. Puff! However, just as the long sword was about to fall, a starlight shot out and instantly pierced the head of the strong man of Ling Tian's lineage. Ha! Shui-Tu's whole body relaxed, and the terrifying space compression disappeared. After escaping death, he was already sweating coldly. When that person died, all the strong men of Ling Tian's lineage were killed. Long Chen said, "This group of people are sneaky and don't let people peek. They must be doing something shameful. Let's go and take a look." Everyone moved forward. Suddenly, a sharp sword energy made everyone's hair stand on end. Long Chen was slightly surprised. It turned out to be a sword formation.